who are doing wrong and who are criminals, but also it does remove the
so do you think it's going to like reduce the overall level of crime?
In a sense, yes.
Okay, well, that's also false. So not only are undocumented immigrants 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes compared to citizens, but when we do a mass deportation, it has those very devastating economic effects that we've already gone over. And when we're destabilizing our producers by firing 8.3 million of their workers, we're reducing our GDP growth by, once again, firing 8.3 million of our workers and, deporting 11 million of our consumers. What happens is the economy is destabilized as a whole and levels of poverty increase in the country. And poverty is a big root cause of crime. So with an increase in poverty, we should expect to see an increase in crime. So in other words, we would expect mass deportation to increase crime. And not to mention, if you take such a big issue with crime, then why do you support a 34-count felon adjudicated rapist as president?
There's no convicted case of this, though.
Yes, there is. He was convicted of 34 felonies in a New York court 2 years ago, and he was held civilly liable for rape in a civil court in 2023.
In a civil court, that was not a criminal court case. That was more of a civil suit case.
Right. So civil courts are different from criminal courts. You're not really telling us why you don't believe the outcome of it. I mean, we still had a unanimous jury of 9 conclude that yes, indeed, Donald Trump did rape E. Jean Carroll.
But at the same time, there are false allegations that can be wrongfully committed or wrongfully accused, and you can be wrongfully. I'm struggling with the word.
No, I hear you. You're saying that rape allegations can be false. Therefore, this specific one was false with no further reason. This is like saying the government can lie to us. So therefore, like Bush did in 9/11, and that was an inside job that they covered up. This is like saying science can be wrong. Therefore, all science in which is indicated that the Earth is round is wrong and the Earth is flat. It's just it's conspiratorial breeding logic that also happens to be upholding rape culture in this country. So do you have any reason why you specifically reject the outcome of this civil court? And by the way, everyone in my chat is spamming under 18. I chose to believe you, right? Because you told me that you are 18 and that you just haven't been on TikTok for a long time. If I was wrong in believing you, can you just be honest? Are you actually 18?
I am actually 18.
Well, it looks like he left. So it looks like he wasn't actually 18. I didn't kick him. He left. So we're going to move on to the next guest. Chat, you were right. I was wrong. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the live. Go ahead and hop in that queue of You Support Trump. We'll get you connected. Right now, keep in mind that we are specifically only looking to talk to people that do indeed support Trump as president. Let's go to get that next guest loaded in here right now, everybody. Let's go to get that next guest loaded in here right now in the meeting. Glad to see you back. Listening to your live makes long work days so much easier. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and incredible debate skills, Lori. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you for tuning into the live, and I hope that you're having a good day. If y'all could show some love to Lori, it mean the world to me. Alongside Cody, thank you for the $10 on Super Chat. Saying I appreciate what you're doing, Dean. I feel more informed and educated because of the work that you do. That is literally the goal of this stream, Cody. I couldn't be happier to hear that. Thank you so much for the love. What is up? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 18.
Oh, everyone here is 18. I don't know. What year were you born in?
2006.
And what is your birthday?
October 11th.
Okay. Let me check out your account. Okay, I'll believe you. Let me thank 2 more people here, then I'll go ahead and pass the mic off to you. There's been a lot of donations coming in that I haven't been reading off just because I was debating that last guy. Just know that I really appreciate you guys. Like Andrew, thank you so much for the $25 donation on Venmo. That is incredibly kind of you, Andrew. Andrew says, welcome back, Dean. I miss hearing you destroy the MAGA fools. Well, I appreciate you for that love, Andrew. That is incredibly kind of you. As well as Kaylee, thank you so much for the $35 over on Venmo from 10 minutes ago, saying you've educated me so much. Thank you for continuing to go live. Well, I appreciate you for being here. And once again, thank you so much for the $35 donation, Kaylee. That is fucking nuts. Andrew and Kaylee, you guys are awesome. As well as Kimberly, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo, saying, hey, Dean, I'm glad to see you today. Please remind people that you experienced your own gun violence trauma in June. Well, that is kind of true. But Kimberly, I appreciate you for the $20 on Venmo. And Melissa with the $10 on Venmo as well. Thank you so much for the love, Melissa. That is incredibly kind of you. And Roberto with the $25. Thank you so much, man. It's good to see you. Everyone show some love to Roberto in that chat for the $25. That's incredibly kind of you. Roberto says, glad you're back, brother. Keep fighting the good fight for us. Well, I appreciate you for being here, man. And thank you for the $25. For everybody in the chat spamming that he's 15, do you have any reason to believe this?
15?
Oh, are you driving right now?
I'm in a passenger.
Okay. I don't know. He sounds young. I gotta say, he sounds young. We're gonna be safe and go ahead and move on. And Espada, I appreciate you for that Vikings hammer. That is incredibly kind of you. Let's go and get that next guest up in here right now, quite frankly. And thank you so much, everyone, for the love. Thank you guys. Seriously. Thank you so much. As well as like Ella with the $10 on Venmo saying, love you, Dean. I love you too, Ella. It's good to see you. And Noah with the $20 on Venmo saying, I've been a long time VOD watcher, but I've never caught a stream. Thank you for everything that you do. Noah, it's so good to have you here. Thank you so much, Noah. Thank you so much. What's up? Do you support Trump? Okay, Isaac is not here. We're going to move on to the next guest. Go ahead and hop in that queue if you support Trump. Go ahead and hop in that queue if you support Trump. We'll get you loaded up. So we're specifically only looking for people that do support Trump, guys. We're looking for some debates. And unfortunately, we're not really finding them today. Hey, Greg, thank you for the glowing jellyfish. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the love. All right, we're going to go to get that next guest connected into the live right now, guys. Go ahead and put a Trump with your age down below in that comment section if you would like to join. As we are specifically looking for Trump supporters. And honestly, quite frankly, right now, I'm not having too good a luck with a queue. But we're going to go to get that next guest, Dominic, loaded into the stream right now. Okay. All right. What's going on, Dominic? Do you support Trump?
Nah, Dream Bull.
I think he said no, so I'm just going to kick him. We're going to move on to the next guest right now. Everyone just do give us a minute. What is up? Do you support Trump?
No.
Okay. Guys, stop joining the queue unless you support Trump. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Dude, we definitely have enough people. We have like 32,000 fucking people in the TikTok stream right now. It should be really easy to find some Trump supporters. It should be like incredibly easy. What's going on? How old are you?
Yo, bro, what's up?
Age, please?
18.
I don't believe you for a second, my friend. Have a great rest of your day, though. I'm so sorry. What's up? Do you support Trump? No, they left too, dude. What's going on with all the kids? What's going on with all the kids, guys? Come on, y'all. Dude, this is why I ask you guys to put like Trump in the chat with your age. So like I'm looking for some like older people here. You know, I want to find somebody that has like twice as much life experience as I do to come up here and have a conversation with me about why they support Trump. That's who we're looking for. We're looking for the MAGA grandpa, the MAGA gramps. Okay. All right. Hey, what's going on? Do you support Trump?
I do.
Dude. What did I just say? What did I just say? Okay, we're going to move on to the next guest right now. Holy crap. Holy crap. We're going to move on to the next guest, guys. Everyone do just kind of give us a minute so we could get that next guest loaded up into the box. What is going on, dude? Guys, come on. We got Mr. Disrespectful loading into the live. Hopefully they're not too disrespectful, right? Hopefully they're not too disrespectful. While Mr. Disrespectful's loading up, I saw this came in a while ago, but Catherine, this is like seriously fucking nuts. Catherine, thank you so much for the $100 donation over on PayPal, Catherine. That is so incredibly kind of you. Catherine with 100 big ones says, we love you, Dean. Love to Catherine down below in that chat. Thank you so much, Catherine. That is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much, Catherine. What is up? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
And how old are you?
I am 20.
Okay. Let me thank two more people here real quick. I'm gonna go and pass you the mic, and you can tell us why you support Trump. First and foremost, Eva, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal, saying love from Norway, love to Norway. And Jade, it's so good to see you. Thank you for the $50 donation on PayPal, saying welcome home. Doing what you do so masterfully. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that word. Jesus Christ, I'm having a hard day. Jay, it's so good to see you again. It's been a while. Thank you so much for the $50. That is so incredibly kind of you. Show some love to Jay down below in that chat while we pass the mic off to our new guest here to tell us why they support Trump. Go ahead.
All right. So I don't want everyone's gonna be like I'm crazy, but I know where the money's going, and it's going to Israel. I know you work for Israel. I know you do.
So
There's no way you don't work for Israel.
So you're telling me that the IDF pays me to shit on the IDF? What?
Yes. Yes, you work for Israel.
So why would Israel pay me to shit on them? Like, I'm like notably not a fan of Israel. I'm incredibly pro-Palestinian.
No, it's just I know, but like you gotta think about it. Westward expansion in 1887. We gotta look into that. You know.
So do you support Trump? Do you want to give us an argument why?
Yeah, of course. I support Trump because of his immigration policies.
Okay, but actually, just real quick, before we debate, Trump's immigration policies, like seriously, respond directly to the words that are about to come out of my mouth. Just respond very clearly. Why would Israel pay me to shit on it.
You shit on them?
Yeah, I'm anti-Israel. I'm pro-Palestine, and I think that Israel's committing an ethnic cleansing. And I think that the state of Israel is like doing absolutely terrible things. Why would they pay me to say those things?
You know, because everyone like you know, all these like influencers, I feel like they all have like some sort of connectedness with Israel of some sort. I just have a gut feeling, you know?
So would you say that like maybe Israel's paying me to shit on them to like disseminate and stop the conspiracy theory that like everybody in the media loves them?
I don't know. People do crazy things for money.
You are so far gone. You are so far gone. Okay. So
I'm not.
You told us that you told us like, sorry.
I'm not far gone.
So you told us that you
I
support,
know you work for them.
Oh, just shut the fuck up. Okay. You told us that you support Trump because of his immigration policy. I'm not going to take that first comment too seriously. What immigration policies of Trump's makes you support him as president?
I just think that his strengthened border security, I just feel like it's pretty good because there's no new crime rates, you know? There's like actual focus on national security and there's actual like promoted jobs for like US citizens.
So what good policy did he pass to lock down that southern border?
I feel like I think what's it called? I'm not sure off the top of my head. Remain in Mexico or like I forgot.
Oh, yeah. Well, what does the Remain in Mexico policy do?
What?
What does the Remain in Mexico policy do?
You're breaking up.
I'm not breaking up. You have perfect connection. What does the Remain in Mexico policy do?
I feel the Remain in Mexico policy, like instead of being allowed to wait inside the U.S., right? Like certain immigrants who like cross the southern border are like sent back to Mexico.
Certain
and so they like
those certain immigrants would be legal immigrants. They would be asylum seekers. Wow. Okay. So when you're telling me that he locked down the southern border and prevented undocumented entry by making legal immigrants who entered into this country with documentation wait and remain in another country is completely incoherent, right? So if you don't know, just tell me that. If you don't know, just tell me that. Can you name any policy that he has like passed and implemented, or an executive order that has really shut down that southern border?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Okay, and that's a fine response, okay? But listen, I would say that Donald Trump hasn't shut down the southern border with good policy. I would say he's shut down the southern border with something like fascism. I mean, like, think about it, dude. He's been violating the constitutional and human rights of undocumented immigrants that are already in this country. He deported planes worths of Venezuelan immigrants without due process to CCOT against the withholding order of a judge. He illegally deported Abrigo Garcia, where he was beaten and tortured in CCOT for 3 weeks. He has been blackbagging college students and taking them to ICE detention centers 1,000 miles away without due process, once again, violating the withholding order of a judge. And I mean, we've seen that this trend has continued since the day he got into office until now. And I think these facts have literally scared away undocumented entry because they don't think they will have a better life in America under the Trump presidency. And I think this is the same thing that has reduced legal immigration, the same thing that has reduced tourism for business and leisure and just travel altogether into this country. I mean, like as of 3 months ago, I think the U.S. is now officially on a UN human rights watch.
All right, nice. You see, I'm willing to accept defeat, unlike other people, and I agree with you. All right.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to debate?
Fuck me, Dean.
We're gonna go ahead and God, that just was so unexpected. You know, I hear some shit on these lives, okay, but I'm usually like expecting it. That was so unexpected. Hey, welcome in, Chris. Do you support Trump?
I do indeed. Let me just first say, like,
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay, all right. And Miss.
Let me start by saying this: you gained a lot of respect for me for the whole September 10th thing. I personally didn't like you.
How about this? Here's what I have to say to that. You're telling me that you have more respect for me.
Yes, 100%.
What if I could use this as an opportunity to change your mind? Like I can't really like think of a better like response to that. You know, like you're telling me that like, you really didn't like me before that day,
So,
and
it's
now
not the fact
you have
that I
like
don't
more
like
respect
you.
for me after. Like maybe like the only way like I could like really move forward from here is by using this as like an opportunity to like get you to stop supporting Trump because you're going to be like better receptive to what I have to say. Like that's like really just like the only thing I could really think of right now. So I mean, let's have a conversation
So
about that.
I'm more politically in the middle. Like I'm not. I support Trump, obviously, but like politically in general, I'm more in the middle. Like I'm ideologies of both sides.
So why do you,
Right.
why do you
But-
support Trump?
For me, it was more. So first election, I was 2016. I was younger. I turned 18 more towards the 2020 election, right? But I was August, so I couldn't vote 2020. It was more 2021 I could vote. So the ideologies that I saw between the economy being younger. I mean, obviously 2020 we had that big old crash, right?
Yeah, we did.
From COVID, from everything else. But you look at gas prices from look in California, right? You were at $6-7 a gallon there for a long time.
Gas.
So move straight out of there.
So what is the conclusion of the claim here? Do you think that Donald Trump has reduced the price of gas, or the Biden-Harris administration increased it?
As of right now, there hasn't been a change in nothing. To be
Okay.
completely honest.
Well, there actually has.
Right.
There actually has been changes in things economically speaking, which is seemingly what you want to talk about. So our GDP growth last year was 2.4%. This year, the feds are telling us it's projected to be annualized at around 1.4%. So it's down by over a percent. That is a change, and that is a bad change, okay? We also see that long-term unemployment is the highest it has been since 2017, excluding the pandemic. Today, under Donald Trump's second term, we see that investment into American manufacturing is now going down for the first time in years after seeing a massive boom under the Biden-Harris administration. We see that
Right, and that's a big
inflation is
part of
up.
it.
The price of every single good and commodity sold in exchange in the grocery store costs more today than it did in January. And these are all like very bad economic indicators. Now, even though like seemingly every macroeconomic variable has gotten worse in the last 8.5 months, why do you still support Trump as president?
So I can go back on the immigration thing. That's just for me personally, but we're not going to go back into that debate because you just had that debate about it, right? I can go into the ban on abortion, but you've had a million debates about that. I don't want to get into that.
Well, then what do you want to get
Right.
into? I'll get into that. Like, what do you want? Like, what's your debate? Like, do you support the
had a
ban on
bunch of
abortion?
debates, so that's like-
Do you think that abortion should be
Yeah,
banned?
I do. I do indeed.
Okay, even in circumstances of grape?
So, in circumstances of grape and incest, I believe that 100% they should be allowed.
Okay, so
right.
then why do you think they should be
And-
banned in elective circumstances?
So, in elective circumstances, right, I'm a big believer of you die by your act, or you unalive by your actions, right? You live by what you do. So, if I were to go out right now and knowingly have unprotected intercourse with somebody, right? I need to live by my actions and I need to live by my consequences.
Yeah, okay, I hear you. You're basically just saying that because pregnancy can be a natural consequence of sex, if you engage in sex and you get pregnant, you got to deal with it?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay. Lung cancer can be a natural consequence of smoking cigarettes. If I smoke a cigarette and get lung cancer, should I be forced to deal with it, or should I be able to go to the hospital and pay for chemotherapy to kill the life of the lung cancer?
Right, but you know the risk of lung cancer.
Right, exactly.
Or
I
you know
smoked a
risk of-
cigarette knowing and acknowledging the risk of lung cancer being caused by
Yep.
smoking that cigarette, yet I still chose to smoke that cigarette and I got lung cancer. Should I be
Yes.
forced to deal with that lung cancer and die, possibly? Or should I be able to go to the hospital and seek chemotherapy and medical health help to kill the cancer growing in my lungs?
Right, but is chemotherapy 100%?
I'm confused of what you're saying now.
Does that have a 100% success rate of killing or unaliving your cancer?
Of working? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a medical health professional, but what I will say is I don't think it's relevant. Like, all that I'm asking you here is if I should be able to go to a doctor and seek treatment to hopefully kill the lung cancer, or should I have to deal with the natural consequences of the action as you priorly suggested?
Okay, do you see the difference here, though? Is that one's a life, right? In my eyes, right? We're going to have different views on that. Oh, and I respect that 100%. We can have different views on that, right? But one's a life and one's saving a life, right?
Okay. Well, I think what you're telling me is that you just think that the life of the fetus is valuable and you don't think the life of the cancer is valuable. So this is a completely separate and decoupled argument away from the fact that you said that individuals should just have to deal with the natural consequences of their actions, but that's fine. We can move on to that. I just simply ask you now, why do you think that the life of the fetus is valuable?
Life in general is valuable. Whether it's life of a fetus, life of a plant, life of whatever is living is life.
Okay,
right?
well,
That
you
is the
say,
way.
like, whatever is living is life and all life is valuable. Are you a vegan?
I'm not. No.
Okay, well,
No.
I mean, isn't that kind of contradictory to the view?
No, because God put animals on earth to be ate.
Okay, so would you say that the life of the fetus is valuable because you're a Christian and you think the Bible tells you so?
I do indeed.
So in other words, you're basically telling me that you think that abortion should be illegal because it's a sin.
In a way, yes. However, like I said, in ideologies of rape, of incest, of, if the mother is going to die or unalive by the fact of having this baby and you have to pick between the mother and the baby, you pick the mother.
Okay. All right. Well, I just checked everyone in the chat. Do you see what everyone in the chat is spamming?
I do, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I just went and checked it out. I don't even know if I could say that on TikTok Live. It's just a repost where you're calling women HWORES and talking about becoming an alcoholic. Yeah. Is that Christian?
No. Not 100. No.
So that's a sin?
I'm on my journey back to God at this point.
Wait a minute. In accordance with
That's-
Christian theology,
that's
you could repent for your sins.
Yes.
You could repent for your sins outside of blasphemy. That's unforgivable.
Okay. I mean, understandable. Like I said.
Right, but
I
I think my point was clear there. Like, you agreed that all sins are viewed identically in the eyes of God outside of blasphemy,
Yes.
following under Christian theology. Meaning, if you think that one sin should be illegal because of how wrong it is, and all sins are identically wrong, this would mean that you think all sin should be illegal, right?
Yes. No, and like I said, with
Wait,
me,
if you don't think that all sins should be illegal, then how could you differentiate between that? Like, can you give like a argument to justify a logical argument to justify that the sin of abortion should be illegal, but like the sin of lying to your child, telling them that Santa Claus exists, shouldn't be illegal?
No, to be honest with you, no, I can't.
Okay, and that would be a logical incoherence. So we shouldn't use logically incoherent thought processes to justify voting for legislation that ultimately infringes upon the access to health care of 66 million American women and girls.
I'll give you that.
Great, man. Well, yeah, I think about that a little bit more, man. Appreciate you for giving me that. We're going to move on to the next guest at this point. Everyone just give us a minute. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. Go ahead and hop in that QView Sport Trump and we'll get you connected. Everyone do be patient. Let's go and get that next guest. Some love to Anastasia and Paula down below in that chat, as well as Caitlin. Thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo, saying, I've never been able to catch you live and I love your content. I learned so much from you. Please never stop. Well, Caitlin, I appreciate you for the $25. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much. As well as Zach with the $5, Brooke with a 10, Gabe with a 7. Simon, thank you so much for the $25. I really appreciate you for the love, man, but your message is a little weird. Simon with a $25 says, I'm going to lick you, Dean. Simon, I am going to need you to calm down, my friend. Caroline, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo, saying, I appreciated your accountability and apology and clarification stream yesterday. It seemed genuine. Caroline, it was. Thank you for the $10. It is incredibly kind of you, as well as Jennifer with the $10 saying, so glad that you're back. Been worried about you. Continue the good fight. Thank you, Jennifer. Amy with the $10. Thank you so much for the love. And then Maya and Kevin with the 5 and the 3. I appreciate you guys for the love over on Venmo. Show some love to our donors down below. Danny, go ahead and take it away. Tell us why you support Trump as president.
Hey, so first off, thanks for having me on. Your prompt, you say, how do you still support Trump? That kind of implies something happened for, hey, why do you still support Trump? So can you really give me a little examples of why would you imply the still that you're saying, why someone would still support Trump?
Oh,
what is it?
I think that you ask a great question. Yes. The framing of the question on top of my head, how do you still support Trump, is intentional and is purposeful because there has been crazy fucking shit Trump has done that should have served as a red line. Let's go ahead and hop into them. First and foremost, he was held civilly liable for raping a woman. That should be a red line. Second of all, he boasted about perving on the naked bodies of teens and grown adult women unconsensually on Howard Stern's radio show in 2005. That should have been a red line.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I like to note take these stuff. So when I respond, I want to make sure I get it accurately. So is that okay?
Yeah, I'm confused. What are you asking for?
I'm notating what you say, so
Oh, you just
I'm
want me
gonna-
to like slow down a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, that's
Slow
fine.
down.
Yeah, third of all, I mean, he passed the big beautiful bill that kicked 10 million people off of healthcare and 3 million people off of food stamps by defunding Medicaid by $900 billion and setting brand new work requirements, then defunding SNAP by $156 billion. Fourth of all, I mean, he sent a letter to Epstein depicting the body of a naked woman, or and like some eyes, the body of a naked teen, with a statement, "May every new day be another wonderful secret." In fact, we had that letter released. They said a lot of other weird, gross shit too. Fourth of all, I mean, you know, seemingly a lot of Republicans really care about fiscal conservatism, saving our money. In the last 100 days, he's signed over $5 trillion worth of debt-related spending into law. You know, I mean, there's like plenty of things that we could go through here.
Right, so let's just start with the first two. You mentioned he's the grifter and the Epstein stuff. Is that about accurate?
No, I mentioned that he'd boast about perving on the naked bodies of teens and naked bodies of adult women on the Howard Stern podcast in 2005, and then he was held civilly liable for rape. Those were my first 2 points.
All right, boasted about. All right, I'll be honest. The boasted about teen thing, I've never actually heard that in my life.
Would you like to hear it?
Yeah, let's get a little context about that first.
Yeah, for sure. Give me 3 seconds here to get the clip playing. Everyone, just do be patient.
As
Conflict?
yes.
I don't see it as a
It
conflict.
could be a conflict of interest, but you know, it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
Question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, you know, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now, tell
Well,
me
I'll
what-
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, you know, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. You know, I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Yeah, oh, okay. I definitely heard girls there, and then I heard women.
Yeah, we had, I think, 4 or 5 of the teens at Miss Teen USA come out and say that he did this to them. In fact, we've even had one of them, who's now, of course, a woman, about 20 or 30 years later. Her name's Victoria. She's personally joined the stream and spoken about this happening to her.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat that. I did not know about that. Based on this clip, even if I gave it context, I don't think that's something I could really disagree with. That's a little crazy to me. I'll concede that. But what was your other points you mentioned about Trump?
That he's held civilly
White.
liable for grape. Unanimous jury
Civilly
of 9
liable.
determined that he raped a woman.
All right. I think that's a fair point, but this is my response to that. We know that we had about, I believe it was 80 million people that did not vote, right? So we have 80 million people that didn't vote. Before my next claim, let me just verify that. Wait. Let's see. All right. University of Florida, yes. All of the votes, 245 million people voted. About 64% of the voting eligible population voted, 30% did not. That leaves about a 4 to 5% amount that were left that decided to vote right after the president. Even though, let's just say, I'll grant everything you said about Trump was true. Why do you think 4 to 5% of people decided to switch?
So why do I think a lot of people still voted for Trump even though these things are true?
Yeah,
Either they didn't know it or they didn't care.
I think that's a fair point. You just showed me something I've never known about. A lot of things to think about. You know what? I came in here, I was expecting more economical stuff, and you're telling me things I've never heard. I don't think I can dispute any of that, so I'm going to go ahead and concede that.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, if that's the end of the debate, that's the end of the debate. Also, like right there, I mean, I was gonna bring up, you know, the repost everyone in the chat's talking about. I saw it. I mean, he's off the stream now. It was like saying some dumb shit like, oh, like if I pay the bills, I'm gonna expect you to be my mom and to cook for me and clean up after me and all this stuff. Yeah, we're gonna go to move on to the next guest. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now, everyone. Do just be patient while we get that next guest loaded up into the stream. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Not really anymore. But
Christ. That's awesome, Lucas. I'm happy to hear that you no longer support Trump. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to remove you since we are only looking for people that do. However, I hope you have a good rest of the day and good to hear that you've changed your mind. I think that is awesome. What is going on? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
And how old are you?
I'm 18.
And what time is it?
It is 11:42.
And banned. We're only looking to talk to American adults. Unfortunately, I hope you have a good rest of the day, though. Let's go to get that next guest connected to the live right now. Make sure if you are in that queue that you are pro-Trump, pro-MAGA, okay, ultra MAGA. We're looking for some debate. So let's go to get that next guest connected to the stream right now, quite frankly. Okay, let's go to get them up here right now. Okay, awesome. Hey, we also... Thank you guys so much for the love. Thank you guys for the love. I gotta thank a handful of people. I think I got most of the people over on Venmo thanked. However, there's just a handful of people over on PayPal. We'll do that intermittently with the next.
Stop ripping the spiel.
Let's go. Whoa, it's an anxiety pin. Calm the fuck down, dude. Hey, dude, calm down. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah, how old are you?
Freaking 5 years old.
You're 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, get the fuck off the stream. He was 5 years old. He was literally 5 years old, everyone. Hey, Catherine! Thank you so much for the $25 over on PayPal, Catherine. That is so very kind of you. Show some love to Catherine down below in that chat. Catherine, I also read your message there. Thank you so much for the love. That is incredibly kind of you. As well as Gina and Days with the $6 each. Thank you guys so much for the love. And then Miguel with the 10. Thank you so much, man. And then, hey, Destiny with the $15 over on PayPal says, hey, Dean, welcome back. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you too, Destiny. Good to have you in here with us for the day. And thank you for the $15 donation. As well as Bjorn. Thank you for the $25 over on PayPal saying happy 22nd birthday. Well, Bjorn, first and foremost, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for the $25. Show some love to Bjorn down below in that chat. And I actually turned 21 like 2 weeks ago. But I appreciate you for the love nonetheless, man. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do. How you doing, Dean? First of all,
doing okay. How old are you?
Good. Yeah, 19, sorry.
What year were you born in?
2006.
Okay, why do you just have like a video just like shitting on individuals that are lesbian? Like what?
No, that's a meme. I will address that if you want me to, but that was my only meme that I left up. But I trust me, I'm not homophobic. Trust me. I actually want to have a.
You know you too much to handle. Fuck with your buddy.
I will happily have a debate with you, please, if you allow me to.
Is the joke just like, haha, lesbians?
No, it was actually a meme that I stole. It was something on Google. It was like, if you see those like the dykes in Walmart that like look, it was a dumb.
We're gonna move on to the next guest. Everyone, just give us a minute. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. We got Ava loaded into the live. Everyone, do just give us a minute. What is up? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
And how old are you?
I am 19, just turned 19. My birthday's July 28th of 2006.
Hey, man. Happy late birthday. Yeah, let's have a conversation. Quickly before we do, there's a handful of people that I like to thank. I'm just not caught up over on the PayPal. I appreciate everyone once again so much. Like Andra, thank you so much for the $10 saying, love from Moldova. Dean, you got me interested in politics and what's going on around the world. Love to Moldova, Andrea. That's so cool. Thank you so much for being here and thank you for the $10.
Legal residents, Colorado residents. And so that's where I'm coming from in this. And I want to address specifically the work requirement.
Guess where I live?
Do you live in Colorado as well?
I do live in Colorado as well.
Oh.
And guess what? Yes, there is state systems that offer benefits to undocumented immigrants. However, they're state systems. They're not federal systems. My claim was that undocumented immigrants do not qualify and are not eligible for any federal systems of benefits. That is true, right? But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a Colorado. I live in Colorado. I paid taxes last year in Colorado, and I'm honestly happy that my taxes go to like helping people. It's very preferable to them going to like paying for bombs that are being dropped on Palestinians, and that's my thought. Now, if you want to talk about federal Medicaid and Medicare, which undocumented immigrants do not qualify for, do you agree or disagree with the work requirement?
I agree with the work requirement, and I'm going to tell you why, because of what I see working, like, I guess, hands-on with this kind of stuff. So we have work requirement exemptions for people who are fresh out of prison. We have for homeless people, and it is proven in all states that I think it was only 25% of the people who claim to be homeless are actually homeless in like all over the world. So here's what I'm like, where I'm coming from. I think that work requirements need to be stricter because we do encourage people to be lazy and not work. We do have an amazing program called Employment First that helps people find jobs. And if they comply with that, they do receive benefits. And so my stance, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I think that it is totally acceptable for our government to have policy to incentivize employment for people that can work. Okay? Right? I just simply don't think that essential social safety nets that save people's lives, like going to the hospital and seeking health care, are the ones that should do that. I think that policy to incentivize employment should be separate and decoupled from policy that saves lives. So when we throw a work requirement on Medicaid and you're telling me that's something that you support, here's a question that I have for you. Would you support putting a work requirement on other social safety nets, like driving on public roadways, calling the cops, calling the firemen and firewomen?
So I guess to me it's different and let me just explain, because for medical assistance, we do offer, and all states offer this, and it is going down because of the big beautiful bill, is retro months to cover past bills in hardship times. I don't know if you're familiar with retro. I'm just familiar with it because I work one-on-one with, I work one.
I'm not familiar with it. However, I don't think that this answers my question, right? In a nutshell, like my question was simple. You're telling us that you do support social safety nets on essential social services that save lives, like going to the hospital. Guess what? There's other essential social services that can save lives, such as like calling the cops to report a break-in or something like that. Do you think that you should have to be working in order to call the cops to report a break-in?
No, but do you think that you shouldn't have the right to not work and receive federal benefits is my question when it comes to Medicaid, not other things, but Medicaid I see differently because again, I work one-on-one and I see a lot of people who use this not to work, especially SNAP as well.
No. People don't use Medicaid to not work. Medicaid doesn't pay your bills. Medicaid doesn't put a roof over your head. Medicaid doesn't put dinner on the dinner table. Medicaid just simply covers your bills if you happen to have to go to the hospital and get like a skin checked out that may be cancer. It will cover your bills if you have to go seek treatment for prostate cancer that's not covered under like the Social Security Administration's definition of something that makes you unable to work, right? Like yeah, these things are important. They save lives, and I think that they should be available to low-income Americans that don't work. And I don't think that they cover or pay for your bills.
But we do have more programs that also require work requirements. And again, like with the SNAP thing, in 2015, the 130% FPL was only $1,174. Right now it's $1,632. And I know that doesn't seem like a big difference, but for SNAP benefits, it is, especially because I see a lot of the time people who make too much money to have SNAP benefits, but not enough money to afford to live because we are offering this to so many people. Does that make sense?
No,
where I'm coming?
Could you repeat like that? Could you like get that down to like a sentence or two and repeat it?
Yes. So the 130% federal poverty level in 2015 was $1,174
per month.
Now
like
it is
income? Okay, so we had like we had a okay.
Now it's so that's kind of what we do to determine whether or not you're eligible. So you have to make between the 130% and the 200%.
I don't understand. I don't understand what this has to do with like my claim at all. Right? Because my claim, and I'm gonna make it like so simple here. I think that putting a work requirement on Medicaid is bad because Medicaid is essential.
Yes, but people who aren't working and don't want to work, why are we going to give it to them?
Because it's essential. Think about this. Should we like allow for people that aren't working and don't want to work to be able to call the cops? Even though the cops are paid for and funded by the taxpayer.
Yes.
Okay, why should we allow them to do that?
Well, because to me that's a life-saving emergency, and we have emergency Medicaid that has a
life-saving
higher
emergency.
income limit.
So point number one, do you think that people that aren't working, that don't want to work, should be able to call the non-emergency hotline at their local PD to report something like vandalism?
I think they should be able to call 911 if it's a life-threatening, but we do have
That's not what I asked
emergency.
you. I specifically asked you about the non-emergency hotline at their local PD to report something like vandalism.
Yes, of course they can.
Okay, so why do you think that individuals that aren't working, that don't want to work, should be able to access non-emergency services from the police, even though those are funded for and paid by the taxpayer? Is it maybe because you think that them having access to those resources propagates a society that is better off as a whole? Do you think that them having access to those resources propagates a society that is happier as a whole, a society that lives longer as a whole, a society that isn't as decayed on average? Well, guess what? The same thing goes for allowing low-income Americans, even if they aren't working or don't want to work, to have access to the hospital. Not to mention that if we weren't to give them access to the hospital, well, what would then happen if they were to develop some ailment that isn't emergency, but is definitely impacting upon their quality of life, and they can't get the preventative health care they need to fix it before it becomes a big issue? Then all of a sudden, they're kept out of the workforce for many, many more years. Or on the flip side, we deny them access to preventative health care covered by Medicaid, so then at the end of the day, when they're still uninsured, that what they could have prevented with preventative health care becomes an emergency. They go to the emergency room, and then Medicaid ends up footing a bill that is like 10 or 20 times larger because of that. So, like, not only do I think it's fiscally responsible to offer low-income Americans access to preventative health care through Medicaid, even if they're not working, because it promotes a better society as a whole. It ensures that more individuals are able to work by offering them preventative health care for issues that would make them unable to work, that we could stop and prevent before they even happen. But it also prevents a larger bill in the future by ensuring that there's going to be less people going to the emergency room in the future.
Because to me, most employers, if you're working over 40 hours a week, they provide insurance, correct? It's law. You have to pay insurance. So to me, how I see it, and I know that we view a lot differently. I have a lot of respect for you because you debate and you teach, and I really do appreciate that. But to me, it is, I work really hard, and I have kidney disease, I have lupus, and I still go to work and I still get my insurance. But I see a lot of people now not working to get their insurance. And if they can't, we have a physically and mentally unfit for employment.
Okay. With all due respect, ma'am, you're just simply not responding to the points that I gave you, and I don't feel like this debate is being furthered in a productive, positive direction.
Well, I appreciate you debating me. I apologize that I am not very good at it. I don't have a lot of experience, but I do think that these are issues that need to be addressed with the employment. I think that people need to be employed, and if they can't, then we have physically and mentally unfit for employment, and you do get Medicaid. Okay.
Well, I made a point back to that you just simply didn't respond to. The point that I made back to that was that we agree that essential social safety net should be offered to low-income Americans regardless of their employments. We agree that they should be able to call the cops, including their non-emergency hotline. We agree that they should be able to call the firemen and women. We agree that they should be able to drive on public roadways. Okay, we agreed on all of those things, but then we disagreed as it related to Medicaid. But then I asked you, well, what's the difference? Why do you think that an unemployed low-income American should not be able to access Medicaid, but they should be able to access public roadways or the cops? And you couldn't give me a symmetry breaker there. And then you just ultimately ignored that point, then went back to your argument, just simply re-suggesting that you don't think they should be able to access those things. And that's why I'm saying the debate is unproductive.
Okay, to me, you shouldn't have to work to have someone save your life, but we have emergency Medicaid, right?
Preventative healthcare, in my mind, is life-saving. I mean, literally, on average, people that have access to preventative healthcare live significantly longer. They do. They do. I mean, what I want you to do here is I want you to go on Google. I want you to type in average life expectancy dependent on income in America. You see the less somebody makes, the shorter their life is. Okay, and a lot of that has a relationship to the quality of care and the access to care that they possess or not in relation to preventative health care. So if you think that individuals should be able to access social safety nets regardless of their employments, if they can save lives, preventative health care is something that does save lives. So you should treat it no differently and condemn the Trump administration for passing a bill that took these resources away from 10 million people.
Okay. Well, I can see the preventative part of it. The preventative part, I guess healthcare, but what about QMB, which does cover preventative if you are over the 130% to 200 poverty level? But we're not giving them full Medicaid benefits, and we're saving those for people who really need it. Same with SNAP.
Okay.
Why aren't we
saying that
doing
you don't really need access, like you can't determine if somebody really needs to go to that hospital or not, regardless, like dependent upon what their income is. Like you can't say that. You're saying that we should save these benefits for people that really need them. How can you determine that if you're not working, you don't really need it?
Why aren't we encouraging people
Why
to
aren't
work
you answering
then?
my question?
I guess, okay, please repeat your question.
Yeah, you said
I'm
that we
sorry.
should save these benefits for people that really need them and take them away from low-income Americans that aren't working. Why do you think low-income Americans that aren't working don't really need these healthcare services?
Because why aren't they working for their own?
You're not answering my question. This is why I said that the debate was unproductive. You're just not answering my question.
To me, I think that yes, preventative, normal healthcare. It's something that we need, but we should encourage people to work for that. I'm not saying we don't need it.
Unfortunately, I'm going to go to move on to the next guest. The reason I'm moving on to the next guest is just because you didn't answer my question. You refused to a handful of times. I hope you have a good rest of the day, and I hope that you end up maybe playing back our conversation on the YouTube VOD or something, and you realize where specifically you didn't answer my question. It would be good for further pondering on your thoughts here on politics and whatnot. But we're gonna move on to the next guest. What's up? Do you support Trump? Soli?
Hello.
Okay, Soli is not here. I think we heard a distorted hello there at the end. I don't know. Let's go to move on to the next guest right now. They'll hop in that queue if you support Trump and you want to come up here and debate me.
I'm in.
What's going on, man? You support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right. Boo. Let me thank a couple people here. Hey, dude. Nala, thank you so much for the $30 over on Venmo. That is so incredibly kind of you, Nala. Let's get 300 Nala W's down below. Nala with a 30 says, thank you for helping inform more people. My girlfriend is obsessed with you. Well, I appreciate you for being here, Nala. Shout out to you and your girlfriend. Shout out to Nala and their girlfriend. As well as Alexandra, thank you for the $1. Good to see you. It's been years. And then Ashley, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on Venmo. Ashley, that is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much. I just read your message there. Thank you so much for the love. That is incredibly kind of you. Let's get 500 Ashley W's down below. Thank you so much, Ashley. And then Cadence with the $10 saying, thank you for your honesty and transparency. We love you. Hope you and Parker are doing well. I appreciate you for that love, Cadence. As well as Ethan with the $10. Saying, I'm a nurse and Medicaid/Medicare is already terrible. Cutting it will be detrimental to an already overwhelmed healthcare system. Yes, dude. So many people think that if you cut healthcare, it will magically get better, even though one of the large issues with healthcare in the first place is not enough funding or misappropriation of funding. I appreciate you for the $10 as well as Brennan. Thank you for the $10 as well over on Venmo. Thank you so much. Go ahead and take it away. Tell us why you support Trump.
So, first of all, I actually do think that I support Trump because I actually heard that Democrats and liberals actually stick their fingers up their butthole and...
Yep, you have a good one. What? The fuck? What the hell? Christy, I appreciate you for the under control. No, that was right. Under control. I appreciate that. That is very, very kind of you. We're going to move on to the next. What the fuck? Dude, what? We hear such crazy shit. We hear such crazy shit on this live. We're going to go and get that next Trump supporter up here right now. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. We'll get you loaded in. It's been a couple days. It's been a couple days, guys. I have dropped that mental guard of mine to prevent this shit from I need to re-prepare myself for the madness. Hey, what's up? Do you support Trump, Lucas? Lucas, are you here? Lucas is not here, quite frankly. Goodbye. Moving on to the next guest. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. Go ahead and put a Trump with your age down below in that comment section. We'll get you loaded up in here. We're going to go to get them connected to the stream. Literally right now, we got Aiden loading in. Here we go. Quite frankly, Drew, I appreciate you for the hand arts. Hey, what's up? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
How old are you?
19.
Boo. How old are you? Wait, whoa. I'm sorry. What year were you born in?
2012.
Okay. All right, Aiden. Why the hell do you support the worst president, in my mind, of your lifetime, Mr. Donald J. Trump?
Yeah, actually, I got a question for you, my man.
Okay. Well,
All right. Are you a sick fuck that likes a quick fuck?
And why is he quoting Kanye West lyrics to me? Wait, did he say 2012? I thought he said 2005. I thought I heard 2005. We're going to move on to the next guess. Okay, he did say 2005. I thought I'm losing my mind. Losing my mind. Wait, no, people in the YouTube chat also heard 2012. I thought what is going on with me? What's up, Jackson? Do you support Trump? Jackson, hello! Are you MAGA? Are you here? No. Get pushed! We're going to move on to the next guest. What's up? You support Trump?
150 million%, son.
God, what a joke. Sydney, appreciate you for the galaxy. As well as AJ. Thank you so much. Sorry, not AJ. AG. Thank you for the $10 over on Super Chat. As well as Josephine for the $10 on Super Chat saying skill buffs. Hell yeah, skill buffs. I was at a Buffs game like 2 weeks ago. Hell yeah, what's going on? So tell us, why are you such a MAGA cultist?
Yeah, I mean, I think it pretty much just boils down to you guys just can't accept responsibility for your actions. Can I give you an example of how I feel that way?
First and foremost, saying that you support Trump because you guys vaguely can't respond.
Liberals, such
accept
as yourself,
responsibility
son.
for the act. I mean,
such as yourself, son. Liberals.
What,
and I'd love to give you an.
How's this going to inform me about any reason why you'd support Trump?
I'd love to give you an exact example if you don't. Don't mind.
But like, how does this relate to why you support Trump as president?
Well, because the people that I'm about to describe that support the opposite party, that makes me want to support my party all the more. And I'd
wait,
love
but
to
like,
give you that
okay, wait.
exact example if you would allow me the time,
Imagine
sir.
this. Like, hypothetically, if no liberal ever could accept responsibility for their actions or whatnot, does this automatically make Trump a good president? No. Does this like change the fact that he's just like absolutely like insane and has been violating the Constitution like nearly every damn week since the first day in office? No. Does this like change the fact that he's been like spending trillions of dollars and redistributing wealth from the poor to the rich? Like, no. Like, I'm confused.
So are you ready? Are you ready for me to outline it for you or no?
I just don't think that you legitimately want to have a conversation with me about why you.
I do, 100%. I do, man, and I just like to outline it for you. I mean, I can give you an example. I can give you an example as to how you personally, the liberal that you are, cannot accept responsibility for your own actions. Are you ready?
This seems like more of a I'm upset with Dean compared to I support Trump.
I do support Trump, and if you kind of just let me express.
No, I want to talk to people about why they support Trump, man. This is going to be my last time saying that. Give an argument why you support Trump, or I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next guest.
Yeah, I support Trump because he doesn't spread hateful rhetoric in which people like you spread that would get people unalived, such as Charlie Kirk. I think that you and Parker are both responsible solely for the unaliving of Charlie Kirk because of the rhetoric that you spread on a daily basis, calling him a Schnazi and a racist and a fascist. And it's rhetoric like that that allows these trans, young, loving individuals to go out and engrave such writing on the ammunition, which they use to unalive him in front of 1,000 people or more.
Okay, all right.
And millions across the globe.
Okay, all right. So there's a lot to unpack there. Point number one, you said that I spread hateful rhetoric by calling Trump racist, even though Donald Trump single-handedly perpetuated the birther myth of Barack Obama.
I said Charlie Kirk, sir.
I would appreciate it if you'd allow me to finish. Where he single-handedly perpetuated the birther myth of Barack Obama and telling individuals that they shouldn't vote for Obama because apparently he was born in Africa.
I said Kirk.
Okay, man. All right.
I didn't say Trump. I said Kirk.
You're not listening to me, so I'm going to move on to the next guest. I don't appreciate the interruptions, man. Let's go and get that next guest loaded up into the box. Let's go and see what they have to say. Moving on to the next guest right now, quite frankly. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Absolutely.
How old are you?
29.
Okay. And why do you support Trump?
Okay, first of all, I support Trump. I'm born and raised Floridian. Secondly, you wouldn't shut up long enough for the previous man to talk. He said Kirk, not Trump. Thirdly, your view on abortion is incredibly flawed. How do you expect to debate somebody when you constantly cut them off?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So you support Trump because my view on abortion is incredibly flawed.
No, I'm just saying, just in general, Trump's immigration policies, Trump's abortions policies, coming from somebody who has an angel baby, yes, abortion is murder unless someone was raped or incest.
Okay, and you support Trump because you think that abortion is murder. So why do you think abortion is murder?
You are the most annoying little prick I've ever met.
Someone is really mad. And he left. Oh, God. Jesus Christ. All right, let's go to move on to the next guest. Right now, quite frankly, hop in that queue, if and only if you support Trump as president. Somebody cannot handle a conversation. Here we go. We're going to go to move on to the next guest. What is up? Do you support Trump?
Hey, yes. Can I represent them?
Yeah. How old are you?
Yes, I do. And I'm 32.
Okay.
And you've taught me a lot. You've kind of shaken me up, but I would like to make the case.
Yeah, so why do you support Trump?
So we could go a lot of places. I think abortion's a simple one, where putting it back into the hands of the states, whether abortion is right or wrong, it's better for that right to be protected 50 times in 50 states. Now, have you already addressed that before?
I completely disagree with your view. Do you agree that human rights should be protected at the federal level?
Yes, but you shouldn't hack it in there, which is the way that we had it there before.
Well, so your first part of the question there was yes, saying that you do think that human rights should be protected at the federal level. Can we agree
Absolutely.
here? Can we agree
Yeah,
here?
we agree there.
Can we agree here that it is a human rights violation to infringe upon somebody's bodily autonomy without good reason? A good example of this would be something like kidnapping.
Yeah, or also saving someone's life.
Okay, yeah. So for sure. So you do think that's a human rights violation?
Yeah.
Okay.
To kill someone or to prevent someone from taking life-saving care?
No, to infringe upon somebody's bodily autonomy without good reason.
Yeah, I would say that's a problem. Yeah.
Okay, great. And that's exactly what I would say pro-life legislation does. I think that pro-life legislation banning access to abortion infringes upon women's bodily autonomy. And obviously, because I'm pro-choice, I think that policy has no good reason, right? So you would have to argue that there's good reason to ban abortion in order to uphold the view that it, at the bare minimum, should be legislated on at the state level, given the fact that if there was no good reason for the view, it would be an infringement upon the human rights of the women who were denied access to abortion, meaning that should be protected against at the federal level. So my question to you would be, what is the good reason to infringe upon a woman's bodily autonomy and ban their access to abortion?
So there is no good reason. However, I still don't agree with your point. So there is no good reason. You're right. On like a moral or principle level, yes. But would you want that right protected as a hack? Because right now it was in there as case law, right, with the Roe v. Wade, right? It's under the right to like privacy, right? So if this is such an issue, then Democrat or Republican, anyone who believes that these rights should be protected at the federal level, why was that put into law at the legislative level and not as a hack at the judge? Because it's because of that it was vulnerable to some sort of like Supreme Court hacking in the first place for them to overturn.
Yeah,
right?
so you're bringing up some points here, and they're related inside of the same conversation. However, they're not identical to the original conversation that we were having. Because remember, your first point is that you think that this should be legislated on at the state level. And now that I've given you a compelling argument to demonstrate that even within your own worldview, like it is contradictory and false, now you're moving on to, well, why was it so easy to overturn? It's because it was hacked in there through Roe v. Wade and not like enshrined in federal and federal legislation. So let's go back to the first view. Then we'll talk about the second thing that you just brought up. Okay, first view. So you told us that point number one, all human rights should be protected on at the federal level. Yes. Point number two, infringing upon somebody's bodily autonomy without any good reason is a violation of their human right. Point number three, you don't think there's any good reason to infringe upon the bodily autonomy of a woman by banning her access to abortion. Conclusion, therefore, you think that a woman's access to abortion should be protected at the federal level.
Yes, and I don't mean to make a semantic argument. However, we're glossing over the part about the states. So bringing it back to the states, I don't think inherently that's something that's valuable, where we need it to be at the states. And I misspoke. It's better for it to be codified in the law of the state than for it to just be like a legacy hack that was in there from case law from some previous court case.
What did Kamala Harris run on?
Protecting abortion.
How?
She ran on a lot of things. So can you make your point? Because I'm going to.
How did she want to protect abortion?
I don't know how.
Through federal policy. So all that you're telling me is that on the context of the conversation of abortion, you actually agreed with Kamala Harris's view over Trump's.
Yeah, I might have. I guess I ended up defending his actions instead of why I would support him.
Okay, so ultimately speaking here, if you agree with Kamala Harris's view on abortion over Trump, why do you support Trump?
Well, there's going to be a lot of reasons. And if ever you get tired of me, obviously you're doing pretty good with kicking people off. But there's a lot of reasons to support him, right? Besides abortion. Immigration would be like the hot button, like the main one, right? Can we switch there?
Yeah, sure. So you support his immigration policy. What immigration policy?
Locking down the border and getting people out who are already here.
Okay, so why do you support mass deportation? Or actually, I'll ask you a more specific question. What is one material benefit or outcome of mass deportation on this country?
So it opens up jobs for American workers.
I actually think that it takes jobs away from American workers because we must remember that undocumented immigrants are economically productive, and according to the American Immigration Council, they pay in $1.1 trillion through $1.7 trillion into our GDP per year. We fire all of those workers. There's less workers to produce goods, and there's less people buying those goods because there's 11 million undocumented consumers. But overall, the economy is less productive, and it is downsized.
Yeah, can I ask you to help me make my point? Because I've heard that before, right? But the working class are net consumers of taxes, right? Whether they provide more value or not. Like Jeff Bezos, you could argue that he's capturing value and getting credit for value that he's not necessarily trading. However, if you just look at the dollars going in versus the dollars going out, how much of the road that he uses versus how much of the road that all the working class uses, the working class, we are still in a state where the government provides us a lot of services, and we have a progressive tax rate where the richest people are paying for a lot of things that the poorer people are using. So if it's the case that these undocumented migrants who are working very hard, and which they do, right? It's not a judgment of their character.
I'd like to clarify. You just gave an example of Jeff Bezos. He pays a lower effective tax rate than the average American.
Yeah, but is that an honest point? How much taxes he's generating through the work of Amazon? If he doesn't declare
you're saying how much taxes are generated through the labor of other people?
Yeah, and I conceded that, right? Like he gets credit for taxes that are generated, like someone at an Amazon warehouse working like 12 hours a day, working through pee breaks, like not getting to pee, that guy's generating a lot of value, probably more than his $15 an hour that he would get paid in California. But on paper, how much does Jeff Bezos give? Not under his name, but through Amazon, through all of the sales taxes that he pays when he pays for service space or when he pays for warehouse space. So we still live in a country that with a progressive tax rate where the taxes paid by people up high are providing benefits to people down low. Whether that's enough or not is, up for debate.
So you're just saying that we have a progressive tax rate. How does this relate to a conversation about like a positive outcome of mass deportation?
Yeah, because sorry, it's I don't think as fast as you, Dean, but I don't think you're doing anything dishonest. I did get bogged down. The undocumented migrants, yes, they contribute positively to the economy, like 100%, right? So all of the country benefits when they do their work. However, the people that suffer the most are the people who compete directly with them. Right, so me being middle class and having a high-end job, I benefit from having cheaper labor, harder working people, and more people working in businesses. However, the people that are directly competing with these undocumented migrants, the people who are citizens, so they are not inherently more valuable than these people, but in the eyes of the law and the duty of the...
Looks like he got a pop.
Oh my God, did you have the patience?
Welcome back.
Am I okay? Yeah. So the whole country might be net negative, but the people who pay this cost are working class people who are American.
Okay, I'm really confused. Could you just consolidate that point down to like a sentence or two?
Sorry. Yes. Undocumented migrants might be a net positive on the whole country, but the cost that is paid for that comes from working class people who have to compete with them for jobs.
Okay, so you're saying that like it is like costly to the working class American citizens that have to compete with them for jobs. Okay.
Yes.
And how do we see this cost materialize? What is the detriment?
Unemployed American citizens.
More unemployed American citizens. Okay. So you think that overall, if we were to do mass deportation, there'd be less unemployed American citizens and the economy as a whole would be better off?
Not the economy as a whole would be better off, but the American citizens who are more employed would be better off.
Okay. So you're basically saying that there'd be less unemployed Americans, but the economy as a whole would be better off?
Would be worse off. Yes. And I realize that's a crazy take, but
right, like I mean, like point number one. I mean, like if we were to do like mass amnesty, for instance, and we were to offer a pathway of residency or citizenship to the undocumented immigrants in this country, we would see that there'd be higher wages on average without a material change in the employment of undocumented immigrants, as they'd have more bargaining power to hold against their employer. Point number two, this is also worth bringing up here, is just the simple fact that just because there's more people working doesn't mean that there's like necessarily like worse optimal conditions for the average worker. Like for instance, I would say that the conditions of the average worker were significantly worse like 75 years ago than they are today, even though there's less overall people working 75 years ago than there was today. And point number three, like seemingly the economy as a whole being better off via the contributions of undocumented immigrants not only justifies giving them a pathway to residency or citizenship, but also explains why we shouldn't like remove them all, at least like one of the many reasons.
Okay, because the economy as a whole is better off, that we like these net benefits.
Can you repeat that?
So I was trying to consolidate. It's hard for me to keep track of your stuff too. Like, you're very clear. It's just moving very fast for me. The economy as a whole is better off. People have better collective bargaining if they are not afraid of getting deported, and so working conditions get better. Is that kind of the gist?
Yeah, working conditions get better if we were to offer them mass amnesty. They wouldn't be under like a threat of deportation. They'd also be able to access federal benefits. They'd hold more bargaining power against their employer. I think that this point is pretty self-evident, given the fact that undocumented immigrants, as is, already collect lower wages on average compared to their citizen counterparts, because of the fact that they're under the threat of being deported. They don't have long-term survivability in the market, and if they are unemployed, they have access to less benefits.
Okay, so tell me, like, how does that work for a working class person who's being undercut by these people?
So now you're
Right.
saying, well, now because undocumented immigrants are getting paid lower wages on average, well, then we could see that like American citizens could be undercut by this fact, yet giving us more reason to offer them a pathway to residency or citizenship, because then they wouldn't be undercut by this fact. Yet the undocumented immigrants would, which would be residents or citizens after mass amnesty, would still be able to work inside of the economy and productively contribute. And honestly, this would increase wages on average because of the fact that they'd have more bargaining power, which would stop undercutting citizens and also lead to new citizens going into the workforce getting paid more.
Okay, all of that is logically sound, but how much of a duty does the U.S. government have to its current citizens versus the people who came here? And I'm not saying they did some moral injustice to come here. However, they are not citizens. Does the U.S. government have a responsibility to its citizens over the people of like the entire world?
Well, like even in the lens of the argument that you're making right now, that they have a duty of care and responsibility to citizens, but not to non-citizens, this isn't something that I'm going to agree with. But even if we were to accept this for the intents and purposes of the debate, because of the facts that I just described surrounding mass amnesty and how it makes the economy as a whole better off, that would, by consequence, also benefit citizens. So if you're saying that they have a duty of care to citizens, well, guess what?
Yes.
We would be benefiting the citizens.
Yes. So you said that, and it benefits the citizens as a whole. But my argument earlier was that it's hurting the working class the most. And so
I don't think it hurts the working class to offer them higher wages on average. I don't think it hurts the working class to offer like more job opportunities as a whole on average. And I don't think that it hurts the working class to contribute to a more productive economy with more efficient companies making and selling more goods.
Okay, how long before those benefits materialize? So if I'm someone who's just lost their job, you know, or like the people who are picking like strawberries, right? A lot of agricultural like migrant workers exist. And those people, like there are no American citizens, to be quite frank, there are no white people doing those jobs because it's a really hard job.
Wait, what? I'm so sorry, repeat that?
So the agricultural like migrant work, right? Basically the strawberry picking jobs, right? I'm trying to say that without sounding like, you know, disparaging, but like the people who pick strawberries, the people who pick fruit, if you have stats to dispute this, then I'll just take your word for it. But as a Californian driving past those fields, it is always Latino people picking those strawberries.
I'm so sorry. What does race have to do with anything that we're discussing?
Well, they're the majority of the migrants. So I'm not saying that the immigrants, because they're immigrants from other countries.
I'm so sorry. I'm so incredibly lost in the conversation now.
Yeah, where am I losing you here?
Yeah, sorry. You said white, and then picking strawberries. I'm completely gone now.
So for all I know, many of those people picking strawberries and doing that work are American-born citizens and went to college. But I think that's unlikely. I think a lot of them are the immigrants who are coming here to take these jobs that are hard to do. Is that something we agree on?
Okay, so I mean, I don't like the way that like you're framing, or I don't like the way that you're framing your statements, and I'm not like sure, like because like the takeaway I'd assume is that undocumented immigrants are like more likely to like work in particular like labor fields such as like on farms or etc.
Yes. Yeah, that is where I'm going.
Okay, that is where you're trying to go.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be disingenuous.
Point number one, I don't understand what race has to do with any of this. You could be a citizen and be not white. You could also be an immigrant or undocumented immigrant and be white.
Can I clarify this, because I don't want this sitting on the table.
So to first suggest that like point number one, like you don't see like white people working these jobs and that's how you know that they're immigrants is like incredulously false of you. I don't think that it's okay to make an association between individuals that are Latino and undocumented immigrants. You can't look at somebody and say that because they're Latino that they're an undocumented immigrant. That is racist.
Dean, okay, so yeah, absolutely. Like stopping someone because they're Latino, absolutely wrong, right? Like I'm not going to that point. Now,
I mean, is that not what you said?
No, absolutely not, Dean. I'm not trying to be okay. Here's why I'm drawing that association, okay? There are people who illegally immigrate from other countries. However, to get on a plane and get through a airport is much harder. So usually they overstay visas. Usually they know someone in here, right? It's really not possible, as far as I know. This is the reason why you don't see as many like working class Chinese immigrants here. Do I need to have to cite like papers for that to be something we agree on, or is that?
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that? I was reading something.
Yeah, it's easiest for people specifically from Mexico, but all throughout Southern America, to come here undocumented, versus undocumented immigrants from other countries have to do so through other means, like overstaying some sort of visa.
So there's going to be like less resistance to being an undocumented immigrant, like coming across the southern border compared to like coming in on a plane. I'm actually not sure. If that's true, it's true. I just haven't seen data to reflect that, if that is true or not. But I also don't think that this relates to the conversation that we're having whatsoever.
Yeah, you're right that it doesn't. It's just that when you said like, oh, you don't see white people doing those, like that's not how I said it, and like that's not what I meant. Is that the majority of the people doing those difficult jobs are undocumented immigrants, and they have less bargaining power.
But it's not white or undocumented immigrant.
I feel that, and with the current ICE raids, I understand why that's like a very important distinction to make. But I was just making
it's just common sense.
Okay. I'm not trying to die on this hill, and like that's not a point that I was trying to make. I'm not trying to, but my point is just that if those jobs are very difficult, I would say they're mostly done by people without papers. That was my experience when I was working in restaurants. If you have papers, like as they call them, like the undocumented immigrants.
So point number one, I'm also not sure of that. I mean, I've seen data to reflect that undocumented immigrants are more likely to work in some sectors compared to others. Like for instance, per the American Immigration Council, 1 out of every 7 construction workers is an undocumented immigrant. But insofar as like over 50% of workers on farms being undocumented immigrants, I don't know if that's true or false.
Yeah, I would probably venture yes, but you're right. I don't have the facts for that, and I'm not claiming to. The point that I wanted to make.
Yeah. What's the point of this and how it relates to our conversation?
Yeah, I'm trying. So these jobs are very difficult. People in bad like negotiating positions, right? Undocumented immigrants, they do these jobs. Now, if they disappeared, like people with citizenship would not fight for these jobs, and the wages on those jobs would go up. That is my understanding of, people who do like agricultural work. So that's like point one. So you can.
Well, I mean, point number one, I think that you're already making a mistake. You're saying that if we did a mass deportation and fired all of the undocumented immigrants working the jobs that they do, then the wages in those jobs will go up. I mean, I think we could also lose a lot of jobs because businesses would be shutting down. Because if strawberries get too expensive, you just don't have strawberry farms? I mean, I'm confused of what your point, like continuing to repeat about strawberry farms is. However, right, it is like very intuitively clear that it is the case that in many areas, we could absolutely assume that some businesses, some farms, some companies would shut down via lack of labor and quick removal of labor through mass deportation. Right. And once again, the American Immigration Council tells us that undocumented immigrants pay in $1.1 trillion through $1.7 trillion into the GDP per year. Right. If we were to lose all of the direct and indirect contributions of undocumented immigrants to the economy, right, one could only assume that the economy would suffer and some companies would shut down. I feel like that's very fair. Oh, yeah. I was just trying to make a simplified example. Sometimes when you learn algebra, you plug in a test number to make sure that x plus 7 equals 14, whatever. Strawberries get more expensive. People stop buying strawberries. Now the strawberry farm is gone. Right? And is that like... So yeah, a good could get more expensive, extend beyond equilibrium price. This is basic macroeconomics. Then it's going to lose some demand. Sure, I don't understand like what any of these things have to do in relation to like our debate about if mass amnesty is a good thing or a bad thing. Well, okay. I mean, I was trying to understand the point that you're making, and I think at this point, like I've overstayed my welcome. The ultimate point that I'm making is that mass amnesty would benefit the country. It would benefit us economically speaking, and it'd also prevent like a lot of like treacherous and very heinous, immoral things from occurring. Yeah. So I understand that the immoral part of deportation. That's like a separate topic. I mean, it's obviously related to here. I'm not arguing that the way that the deportations have been happening are moral, but that being said, my argument is not that America as a whole would be better off or worse off. It's that if you vote for Trump and you are working class, you might see more opportunities at your local plant in the near future.
So whether or not
So you're saying that Donald Trump is helping the average working class America? Well, according to the Center of Budget and Policy Priorities, he is directly hurting the average working class American by passing the big beautiful bill. The Center of Budget and Policy Priorities tells us that the average American will literally have less purchasing power because of the big beautiful bill.
Can you tell me some of the reasons why that would be the case?
Yeah,
or why that is the case?
Yeah, one reason why that'd be the case is explained in the Center of Budget and Policy Priorities study would be by rolling back clean energy credits, which are expected to increase the price of energy in this country by shorting the supply of clean energy. Some studies, including that from the CBPP, are telling us that it could increase the price of energy for the average American by around $500 per year. There's an example of one way the average American is going to be losing purchasing power because of the bill.
What was that with clean energy, please? I missed
rolling
it.
back IRA clean energy subsidies, which is going to reduce the productive capacities of clean energy in America by like 72%, according to the study done by the CBPP, which will overall reduce the supply of energy and make energy more expensive as a whole. Because energy is going to be more expensive, they're going to have to spend more on energy, and they're going to have less purchasing power.
And is that, so that's pertaining specifically to the big beautiful bill. Did Donald Trump do anything to open up like more fracking or just like using up more of our natural oil reserves?
Not that I've seen from trends as reported on by the EIA.
Okay. I thought that was part of his platform, saying like clean oil, which I don't really think exists. But if we're going to use up more of our oil and make things cheaper, make it cheaper to transport things, those are all things that make it easier for the working class American.
Well, another part of his platform was to say that the Biden-Harris administration stopped oil production, even though we've never had more oil produced in this country than we did under them, right? I think that he lied a lot.
Okay. If the Biden-Harris administration was talking about, unlocking our oil, they didn't brag about that.
Right.
And I wish they did, because I think that's like a practical thing. But okay, let's leave that alone. So Donald Trump is hurting the economy. The 300 people in Georgia who were like booted out of that Hyundai plant, are those jobs not?
I'm unfamiliar with this specific example.
Okay, did you hear about the Hyundai plant that got raided by ICE?
Yeah, I heard a little bit about it, but I'm not like super familiar with this specific example.
Okay, so it's just, if I'm a voter, so...
do you have any other reasons that you'd like to go over here insofar as why you support Trump?
Okay, so immigration, abortion. He generally talked about getting out of foreign affairs. I'll admit I'm not as well informed there, so maybe that's a short conversation. But he wanted to pay less to Ukraine, right? And he grossly oversimplified how much we pay in versus how much other countries pay in. But at the end of the day, I would like to pay in less to those conflicts.
Okay, well, I'd like to clarify. He didn't say that he wanted to pay in less. He said that he wanted to stop all payments, which he did, by the way. And then after he stopped sending military and humanitarian aid to Ukraine, well, that only weakened them and emboldened Russia and made their aggression against Ukraine easier for Russia, which made them less cooperative in peace talks. That was such a bad, terrible plan that even the Trump White House has walked back on that. And on July 11th, they resumed all funding to Ukraine because they realized that put more international pressure on the country of Russia to accept a ceasefire agreement and to stop being so emboldened in their ethnic cleansing of the country.
Okay. That seems like a bad move, but here's how I feel like looking at the situation as just a layman. It feels like we are being held hostage by the rest of the EU and really like the rest of NATO to like defend all these countries with our money or with our military presence, and other countries are not necessarily
well, it's not us being held hostage. It's us honoring an agreement. We made an agreement with Ukraine to do that under the Budapest Memorandum in the 90s, and it's also just like a good thing to do, right? And now even the Trump administration has recognized that as it puts more pressure on Russia to stop the conflict.
Okay, so is it okay for me to ask you about like your beliefs?
Yeah. I mean, unless if you don't want to respond to that point, I'll probably move on to the next guest, my friend.
Well, because you have that position with Ukraine, and I personally don't think we need to support Israel to the depth that we do. But they're a country
I don't think that we should be supporting Israel at all.
But they're a country that was founded right on the heels of World War II and like the H cost, right? Why don't you feel that sort of obligation towards them?
Because I think that we should have conditional allyships with where we spend our money. We shouldn't be allies with a country that's committing an ethnic cleansing, but this is also a pivot and a deflection away from the points that I made on Ukraine. I will ask you to please respond to the points I made on Ukraine.
So we should honor that agreement. I'm of the opinion that we don't need to be honoring these agreements unless, actually, I don't know about the agreement. So maybe that just kind of ends the productivity part. Like I've definitely enjoyed this. If you need me to know more about that, it's just that I feel like we're paying too much. And so if you're going to tell me that we agreed to it in this Budapest agreement, I guess I'm at a loss.
So like, not only are you saying that, oh, I just feel like we're paying too much, and this is just ignoring all the points that I made about how us sending money to Ukraine is not only honoring that agreement, but also reducing the amount of innocent Ukrainians dying by reducing how emboldened Russia is, because when the victim is weaker, the aggressor is stronger, while also putting more international pressure on Russia to end the conflict, just ignoring all those points. It's also a little bit hypocritical, because you're like, hey, like $30 billion to Ukraine to save lives per year. That's way too much money, but $4.5 trillion on a bill that hurts the economy and reduces the purchasing power of the average American, that's perfectly fine. It's a little hypocritical, but I hope that you consider those things, and I appreciate you for the conversation. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next guest.
This is great. Thank you, Dean.
Yep, let's go to get that next guest loaded up in here. Hop in that queue. If you support Trump, we'll get you connected to the live right now. So let's go and do that right now. Yeah, let's go to get that next guest loaded up in here. We got Cody connecting into the box, and actually doesn't look like Cody is going to be connecting. I missed him. So we're going to go to move on to the next guest. Let's go to get Owen is cool loaded up into the box right now. Hey, what's up, Owen? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
And how old are you?
18.
Okay, and what year were you born in?
2005.
Okay. You can't be 18, born in 05. See you later. Quite frankly, we're going to go to boot the fetus. We're going to boot the fetus. Okay, moving on to the next guest. Here we go. We got Mitchell loading up. We got Mitchell loading up into the box right now. Here we go, everyone. Do just be patient. As well as, hey, Scarlett, thank you for the $20 over on Super Chat. Scarlett says, hey, Dean, glad you're back. Dude, Scarlett, so good to see you. Show some love to Scarlett down below in that chat when we're looking for that next guest to come up here and have a conversation with us about why they support Trump. Let's go to get them up here right now. Go ahead and put a Trump with your age down below in that comment section if you want to come up here and have a discussion with me about why you support Trump. Let's go and get them connected right now. It looks like we found Cody again, so let's go and get Cody up here. All right, everyone, just do be patient. All right, it doesn't look like Cody is connecting, so we're going to go to move on to the next guest right now. Only trying to join the stream if you happen to support Trump as president. We'll get you loaded up. We'll get you connected. We'll have a good conversation. We're going to go to move on. Let's see what Ryan Lifted Frontier has to say. All right, it doesn't look like Ryan Lifted Frontier is... Do you think he'd vote for Jasmine Sherman? Jasmine Sherman, a name that I learned yesterday. Did you know there was a lady by the name of Jasmine Sherman that ran for president in the last election cycle? Did you? Me and my Discord figured out about Jasmine Sherman yesterday. Let's go to move on to the next guest. Hop in that queue. If you support Trump, we'll get you connected. We are specifically only looking to debate Trump supporters. Only looking to debate Trump supporters. All right, everyone, do be patient. We're trying to get that next guest connected. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It has been a struggle to get people up here. What is up? Do you support Trump? Okay, Showery Brick is not here. Banned. Moving on to the next guest. Everyone, do be patient. We got My Name is Ethan loading up and connecting to the box. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Oh yeah, you just had a conversation with me a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your day, man. We typically only talk with Trump supporters once. We're going to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. So let's go to see what that next guest has to say, guys. Keep in mind, only hop in that queue if you support Trump. Let's go to get them up here right now. We got Alex the Sigma connecting to the live. Alex are you 14? Are you 14? Yes. Okay, I have a good one. We're going to go to move on to the next guest, everyone. You gotta be at least 18 if you want to join. You really do. You really do. Quite frankly, you gotta be at least 18 if you want to join. We're going to go ahead and get that next guest loaded up into the box. Right now, we got Miller connecting into the live. Okay. Here we go. As well as I didn't thank anybody over on the Venmo and PayPal during that last conversation. I'd like to thank a handful of people now. I really do appreciate you guys for the love. Valerie, this was 31 minutes ago, but thank you for the $10 donation over on Venmo, just with the little hand heart. Thank you so much for the love, Valerie. That is incredibly kind of you, and I appreciate you for being here. Show some love to Valerie down below in that box while we're working on finding that next Trump supporter right now. All right, here we go. Hey, what's up? Do you support Trump?
To be honest, Dean, nah, but I just want to say me and my sister are big fans, and I just want to say appreciate what you do, bro.
Jay, I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, man. And take care. Take care. Shout out to Jay and Jay's sister. All right, let's go to get that next guest loaded up in here right now. Here we go. Go ahead and put a Trump with your age down below. I'm going to start pulling from the chat compared to the queue just because it looks like the queue is a little all over the place. If I'm going to be honest, it looks like that queue's a little all over the place. There's a lot of people in the queue that probably should not be in the queue. All right, we're going to go to get that next guest connected right now, guys. In the meantime, guys, make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen. If you're watching over on YouTube, drop a like. All right, moving on to the next guest. Right now, we got Van loading up into the box, as well as, yo, dude, Jessica, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on Venmo. Jessica, that is so fucking kind of you. Thank you so much. Jessica with a $50 donation. Thank you so much. Show some love to Jessica down below. Jessica says, thank you for what you do. The information is invaluable. Jessica, that is incredibly kind of you, and thank you so much for all the love. Show some love to Jessica down below, y'all. Let's get at least 500 Jessica W's. It's good to see you. And thank you so much for the love. You're awesome, Jessica. Hey, what's going on? Do you support Trump, Van?
No, but I want to say I love you so much. Thank you.
I gotta kick you. You dupe me. We're gonna start banning people. That dupe me. However, I do appreciate you for the love. We're gonna start banning people right now. We will be banning those who are not Trump supporters. Banning all day, all night. Ban. We got Mad Dog loading up in. Hey, Amanda, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo as well. That came in 25 minutes ago. I apologize that I missed it when it came through because it was time relevant. But thank you so much for the love nonetheless. Show some love to Amanda down below. Thank you so much. That is incredibly kind of you. As well as Sid with the $15 on Venmo. Sid says, let's find it here. Been thinking about you guys. Hope you're doing well. Sending love and appreciation as always. Sid, I hope that you're doing well. I feel like it's been a while. Since we've chatted. I hope all is well. And I did see that news about your father. That is just ridiculous, Sid. Let's go and get that next guest loaded up in here right now. Please only join the live or attempt to join the live if you support Trump as president. Let's go and get that next guest loaded up in here right now. We're going to go to get that next guest connected. As we speak, we got Chet186 joining the live. And Chet never joined. Quite frankly, he never joined. Oh, dear Lord. What is going on? Okay, what about John? We'll get John up here. John was spamming MAGA down below in that chat. John, get up here. What's up, John? You support Trump?
Yeah. Meow.
Why are you...
Meow. I'm a cat. Meow.
Okay, I actually have some political opinions. Let me turn on my camera.
Hey, what's up? Do you support Trump?
I absolutely do.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you can't turn on your camera because you need at least 1,000 followers to do that. You only have 99. However, how old are you?
Oh, okay. I am 18 and I'm a political science major.
Okay, great. What year were you born in?
2007, June 14th.
Awesome. Well, let me thank a handful of people here real quick. I'll try to make it quick. But Jamie, thank you so much for your $20 donation over on Venmo. Jamie, with $20 says, I'd love to have a conversation with you. My name is Anastasia. Much love. Anastasia, hop in that queue. If you support Trump, we'll get you up here. As well as Zoe, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. Zoe says, so happy to see you. I miss seeing you every day. Zoe, you've been hanging out with us for like fucking ever. It's so good to see you again. Thank you so much for being here, Zoe. Show some love to Zoe down below. As well as Amanda, thank you for the $15. Saying, hey, Dean, it's good to see you again. How is Parker holding up? He's doing okay. He'll be back soon. He will. Thank you for the $15, Amanda. As well as Jay with a 5 and Chase with a 5. Thank you guys so much for the love. And then David with the $10 over on Venmo says, for being awesome. Good to have you in here with us for the day, David. Thank you for the $10. And then Amber with the $10 and John with the $10. Show some love to Amber and John down below. And go ahead, take it away. Why do you support Trump?
So first of all, the tax cut and the economic growth that I've seen in the United States is pretty unbelievable since Joe Biden and Kamala Harris ruled the United States. I've been a Trump supporter my whole life. My whole family have been Trump supporters, and I've been really good at acknowledging all of his pros and his cons.
Okay, so you just said that the economic growth has been unbelievable since Donald Trump's presidency began. What happened to our GDP in the first quarter of this year?
You're stating some of his cons, but definitely not that good. But I have a lot of pros that he has done.
But how do we measure economic growth?
Well, it's measured in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah, but isn't like,
Like
a
a
key
measuring
measurement of
cup has-
like general economic growth going to be GDP growth?
Well, that's not the only thing that we have to grow.
Okay. What is another macroeconomic variable that's gone better in the last 8 months? It's one that's grown.
Well, the taxes and obviously the gas. And I really think that the immigration, which I know that you've already debated, I think that's a really helpful thing to make our taxes go down. The people that are disabled, and I quote, the people that want to live off people that work very hard for their taxes, people that want to live off people that make more money than them, that has...
Did you say that disabled individuals that literally can't work want to live off of those that make more money?
Not all of them are disabled, no.
So you just said not all disabled people are disabled? False. All disabled people are indeed disabled.
That is an absolute lie, sir.
What? It's self-implied. This
Well-
is like saying like all women with brown hair are women with brown hair. All men with small hands, such as myself.
Let me just tell you something about...
Tiny. They're pretty. I have small hands. All disabled people are disabled. It's self-implied.
So let me just tell you something about Joe Biden and a plan that he used last year. He used a plan that caused multiple teenagers to get pregnant to live off free welfare from the states. And I think that is absolutely...
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. Repeat that. My apologies.
So Joe Biden made a plan, an organization, that if you were pregnant and you were a teenager, you got to live off the state, basically. You got
State
food
benefits?
stamps, you got
Nice.
housing. That is absolutely awful. It caused multiple and a horrible amount of percentage for teenagers to get pregnant on purpose.
Can you
purpose.
Okay. Give me those. Give me
Yes,
those.
you can get
statistics.
pregnant on purpose.
Okay, first and foremost, when was this plan implemented? Okay, I tracked the Biden-Harris administration. They passed the CHIPS and Science Act, the PACT Act, the American Rescue Plan. They passed the
It was in
infrastructure bill.
2021.
They passed a bunch of shit, okay, as well as the executive. I've never heard of what you're talking about. Now, if this is true, that's good. We should obviously be taking care of pregnant teenagers. Like, what? That is such a good idea. Fucking based. But, like, first and foremost, tell me, like, what the title of this bill was or what the name of the executive order was, just so I could have some more information on what you're talking about to prove that Biden is even more based than I thought he was. And then second of all, I want you to go ahead and give me any statistics to demonstrate that we had a surge in teen pregnancy onset because of this thing that nobody watching right now even knew about.
If you look it up, I learned about it in a college course in my school. I forget what the bill that passed was called, but it gives people more welfare to live off the state, like food stamps. Of course, I think that they should have food stamps, but unfortunately they get housing, they get free med care, they get free everything for the baby and them, which they're taking the taxes from us and using it for themselves, for them not to work because they're pregnant, and that's a disability.
Because they're pregnant teenagers.
Let me tell you, I am still a teenager, and if I was pregnant, I would still be able to work.
Oh, I just want to clarify that right now you are like demonizing and trying to paint this thing as negative when it is like probably one of the most benevolent uses of tax dollars ever. Using our tax dollars to make sure that pregnant teenagers and their children will be not homeless? Boo! Boo!
Can I just explain
Using
something to you?
our tax dollars to, I don't know, give an additional 4% back per year to billionaires and send more weapons to Israel to kill more innocent Palestinians? Yay! This is incoherent.
Let me explain something to you. In my school, there was over 22 teenagers that got pregnant and went on this plan. These teenagers just wanted to move out of their house. They just want to move out of their house and try to be an adult. And that is not what we should be trying to teach people. We should try teaching people that you're not supposed to get pregnant when you're a teenager. Sometimes it happens, but why are we normalizing that? Why are we normalizing that you should just hop on this plan? Thank God Trump is trying to take it down, but I just think it's an abortion. I really want to go on that topic with you, actually, because I have a lot of notes
We'll
written
get there
down.
next, but we need to finish off this point. You're saying that like it's not a good thing to be a pregnant teen. Okay, that is like it is.
I'm saying it should not be normalized.
It is different. It is so suggesting that like you shouldn't seek teen pregnancy is different than suggesting that if you are a teen that is pregnant, you need these social safety nets to ensure your well-being and the well-being of your child, okay? Right? And in fact, the reason why we should offer these social safety nets to pregnant teens and their children are the same reasons why you shouldn't want to be a pregnant teen, which is that it is incredibly hard. It reduces your education. It can really fuck up and reshape your life in a lot of ways and in bad ways. And I just think that it is crazy for you to suggest that teen pregnancy is something that you acknowledge can be incredibly difficult for so many people, but then in the same breath condemn attempting to help those people out with said difficulty.
But can I try to enlighten you on something right now? Say I am a teenager and I want to live alone. I want a house. I want free things. Why not just get pregnant? Now I have a free apartment. Now I have food stamps. I don't have to work. Now I have to go on Medicare. I get everything for free now. So why not just get pregnant?
Yeah, because being a pregnant teen is undesirable to many young women and girls. Right? This is like suggesting that oh, well, if we literally give Americans in poverty access to I don't know, the hospital because they can't pay those bills themselves. Oh, why wouldn't you just quit your job and sell all of your material assets and then burn all the money so you could be an American in poverty so you could go to the hospital? It's because ultimately speaking, we have an incentive structure inside of society in which we don't want to be in poverty. We want to be out of poverty. The same way people don't want to be enduring teen pregnancy. We want to be out of teen pregnancy, et cetera, and so on. Now, once again, you continue to resuggest that because society doesn't want young pregnant teens to be homeless, that therefore so many young women and girls are going to go out and become a pregnant teen is just a bold-faced lie that is stigmatizing something that should not be stigmatized, but rather be met with care, attention, and delicate intervention from our government insofar as allotting a set of resources to these people to ensure that their well-being is maintained in a time where it is so hard to maintain on your own.
So are you telling me that no one has ever done that on purpose?
I'm telling you that you would absolutely not be able to demonstrate to me and everybody else watching this live a trend or correlation between teen pregnancy and our government wanting to help teens that are pregnant. Prove me wrong.
I want you to look up on Google right now the statistics for how many teens actually try to get pregnant on purpose, because it is
Where are these statistics coming from?
Google and websites that are
What website?
Wikipedia. There's sites around Fox News. You can watch that one. There's YouTube videos. And I know you don't like Fox News, Dean. I know you probably want to stick to your CNN, but
Fox News doesn't collect data and run academic studies. Call it what you will, like it or don't like it. They don't collect data and build academic studies, right? If you were, for instance, somebody that came up here and cited CNN for a study to demonstrate a surge in teen pregnancy, I wouldn't take that too seriously either. But let me see it. Give me the title of an article, the title of a study, who wrote the study or who published it, so I could go tippity tap tap into my computer on Google to see it right now.
So it says that it's published by Eric Bernendo. It's spelled wrong, I think. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce his name very well. But it just says a statistic of women that have on Fox that I just read about because I've been watching your live.
Give me the title of the article. Okay, Fox News. What's the title of the article?
Hold on, I have to go relook at I was just reading about it an hour ago on your live.
No worries. Please go look at that. And by the way, you also told me that you want to talk about abortion, meaning that you're probably pro-life, meaning that you think it should be banned. So I think that this is just a draconian, terrible world that you want us to live in, where we are now going to be forcing teen girls to endure pregnancy, force them to give birth, and throughout the pregnancy and in giving birth, then force them to deal with that all on their own, not having enough time to work or to go to school, forcing them to be homeless, forcing them to live on the streets, and forcing their kid to suffer the consequences of that as well.
Teen, I am a teen girl, and I would like to say that if I did get pregnant at this age, I know it's not for all but I would absolutely, in my own opinion, have to raise that child.
Okay.
Yes.
Point number one, just because you are an 18-year-old woman doesn't mean you speak for all other 18-year-old women or teenage,
I know,
or
that's why I
teenage
said it's my
girls.
opinion.
And point number two, many 18-year-old women watching the live right now vehemently disagree with you in the chat.
I absolutely do see that. But let me tell you something about, and it is murder unless it's, like I said, grape to a certain circumstance. If you cannot prove that you were raped in court, then I absolutely don't think that you should get an abortion. I don't think that's fair. I think that you are putting it on someone else, on someone else's back to carry. And if it's not proven to be that, I don't think you should be allowed it. I think it's medically that you need one or grape. That's really it. That's all I believe that you should get one for.
Okay.
My mom is actually a victim of it, and look where I am today.
So we're going to
And
get
I
right back to that conversation. We'll talk about that. I have a lot of thoughts there. That's crazy to me. But one thing that I want to say real quick is if they do prove it in court, then you'll believe them and they should have access to healthcare, right?
I think, can you repeat that? Sorry.
So if they do prove it in court, then you'd believe them and they should have access to healthcare, right?
Absolutely. If you can prove
So
that,
if
then you should absolutely have one.
If a woman proves that she was raped in court, you'll believe the woman.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'd kind of be on their side until they give me a little.
Yeah. So just to be clear, you believe that Donald Trump is a rapist because a woman proved that he raped her in court in 2023.
I don't think that actually came out as. Let me go get my notebook, actually. So in federal law, you cannot be working, and especially the president of the United States, if you have such a, let me get it. If you are president of the United States, you cannot have charges or pending charges, a felony charge, of course.
That's not true.
Yes, it is, because also franchises.
He was found guilty of 34 felonies in July of last year.
But he was not, they're not on his charges. Why aren't they on his
They are.
criminal history?
They are.
No, because you cannot be president of the United States.
According to what article of the Constitution can you not be president of the United States given that you're
You can't even work at half the franchises in the United States if you are a felon.
Okay.
You can't even work at Starbucks if you're a felon.
Do you agree with that?
What?
Do you agree with that? That you shouldn't be able to work at Starbucks if you're a felon? Meaning that
You can't.
I was asking if you agree with that.
In some corporate business, that is on their own terms. I absolutely think that if you own that business and you don't want felons working there, then they shouldn't be allowed to work there.
Okay. And then you'd also agree with like the sentiment that you shouldn't be able to be president if you're a felon?
No, I don't think that you should.
So hypothetically, okay, this is purely hypothetical, obviously detached from anything to do with reality. Because you don't think you should be able to be president given that you're a felon, if Trump was a felon, you'd say he shouldn't be able to be president, right? That's only logical.
Yes, and I also want to see the document where the girl had proof and he did get charged and it's on his.
Okay.
Yes, criminal back.
I'm going to go ahead and show you an image on screen, and I want you to read it off to us.
But is it real?
Yeah. Go ahead and read that off to us.
Guilty. Trump becomes first former president convicted of felony crimes.
So what does this mean? Because I thought we were just talking about how you don't think a felon should be able to serve as a president of the country, and hypothetically,
But is it
if Trump
true?
was. Oh, this reporting is false?
Is it true?
Yeah, it is.
How can you prove that to me, though?
Well,
All I'm seeing is a stitch of a picture that's zoomed in.
Okay, so now I need to prove it. If I prove it to you, then will you believe it?
Maybe. But from what I've
Maybe.
seen and all the background classes that I've done, everyone's saying that it's not true. And
What school do you go to?
I would tell you, but I don't know if I want to out myself like that to your whole community. I don't want them to come for me at my school.
Give me a second here. Boom. I'm going to go ahead and show you the jury verdict form for his 34 felonies. Now, keep in mind that it's actually taking me a while to find this because he has so many court proceedings. Like, I'm like clicking through
And I'm sure he does,
random
but-
fucking lawsuits right now because
Was
of
he
like
convicted of
how
all
many
of them?
times he has been litigated inside of a court.
And I'm sure he does. I mean, I think maybe half of America more has gone to court.
Okay, well, I don't know about that. NPR, let's see. So I just gave you a source from NPR. Would you say that like, oh, sorry, I just gave you a source from AP. Would you say a source from NPR to demonstrate that other things are reporting the same thing would be sufficient?
What do you mean by that? Reporting the same?
Right, like I just showed you a screenshot from AP reporting that he was found guilty of the felonies. What if I also just showed you a screenshot of like NPR reporting the same thing?
I mean, that's like everyone posting things like rumors on TikTok. That's everyone making their own assumption. Anyone can do that.
Earlier you said that you listen to Fox News, right?
I absolutely do.
Oh, so you're a big fan of Fox News.
Yes, I really am.
So what if Fox News reported this?
I mean, I did see it. I obviously have heard all of these before, but do I believe that they're all true? No.
But like, what? But you just told us that you're a big fan of Fox News. So if Fox News is, what the fuck is going on?
I've seen things on Fox News, yes, but they don't initially say that he got charged with grape, and they don't initially say
just look at this. We're talking about his felonies. We're talking about his felonies. So boom, there's AP, right? There's AP. Could you read that title off for me one more time?
Guilty. Trump becomes first former president convicted of felony.
Great. Now here's NPR. Read that one too.
Former President Trump is found. I can't read the second part. Something in
He's found
historic.
guilty in historic New York criminal case. Okay. Now here's gonna be the zinger. Go ahead and read this one for me too.
Trump guilty on all counts in New York criminal trial.
Okay. And who's that being reported by?
Fox News.
Okay, right. So what do you have to say now, my friend?
Well, what I have to say now is just because anyone says it doesn't mean it's true.
Okay, what means it's true then?
I mean, I want Trump to come out himself and show his criminal background. I mean, I want to see the charges all pending or, that went through, everything on a list. I mean, I want to see the papers of everything he was charged for. And it was stamped off by that same person that he went to court with, by that judge. I want the citation notice. I want everything that he has.
Audio sentencing, evidence, decision, and
once you get a RICO file case on him and you show it all to me, I will absolutely 100% believe you.
I don't even know if I believe you.
I know, I see a lot of people in the comments saying she's low-key right. I'm reading.
Don't pay attention to them because they're just completely like incoherently incorrect. I beg and plead you to not listen to anybody in the comment section that is saying you're right.
Okay. I will I will keep my conversation directed with you. But like I was saying about all of that, I think that, I don't think that a felon should, because in franchises, most felons cannot work in fast food places, grocery stores. Why should he?
Listen, man, like I told you, I am still looking for the official court document here. It is so hard to find because of all of the litigation that's ever been held against him. I just seriously cannot believe that you're contesting that he's a 34-count felon. I thought this was common sense.
Yes, I obviously have heard that before. I think everyone has heard that if you watch any sort of news or read any sort of articles. But I do not think that he was charged, absolutely not, with grape. Because
so the grape that was adjudicated in civil court. We're talking about his 34 felonies for falsification of business documentation with a second step intent to conceal a crime.
Yes, I know that we're talking about that now.
Pretrial recordings. Let me see if I could find it on literally like Wikipedia. Guilty. Oh, Trump entered pleading not guilty. So he pled not guilty, then he was found guilty. Guilty. I am just like highlighting for the word guilty and going all down the case. Okay. All right. So you're crazy. I don't know what else to say. Like, I've exhausted
But
my
that's all you
resources
can
on
say.
trying
You
to
can
find.
just say that I'm crazy, and that's how you want to. That's how most Democrats want to debate. Is you
Bro.
can only call me a name and prove that.
Bro.
Dean, do you have my doctor stats?
How about this?
You know my
literally,
medication?
go on Google, type in Trump 34 felonies. Okay, Trump 34 felonies. What pops up when we type in Trump 34 felonies into Google? Okay, we see NPR. Here's all the 34 felonies that Donald Trump was convicted of. ABC. Trump was convicted of 34 felonies a year ago. Manhattan. Ooh, Manhattan District. There we go. Oh, now I found something that you are not going to be able to contest. Because guess what? This is coming from Manhattan's district attorney. And for everybody spamming nycourts.gov down below in the comment section, you are right. That is exactly where the official verdict form will be. I literally just can't find it on the website. It is brutal. It is brutal out here. I used to have it documented and saved for when I need it because a lot of people like this guest used to come up, but can't find it now. Do you hear that beeping?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what was going on there. I apologize. Oh, here, can you read this off?
D.A. Bragg announces 34 count felon trial conviction of Donald J. Trump.
Okay, and then I want you to go ahead and read off that statement right there too.
Jury finds the defendant guilty of 34 counts of falsifying business records.
All right, and could you go ahead and read off that URL for me?
Where the news press releases?
No, the URL, manhattanda.org.
Oh,
So that is the official website for press releases from the District Attorney's Office of Manhattan in New York, and that just once again described how Donald Trump, as the defendant, was found guilty of 34 felonies.
Okay, and is that the list of his charges? I didn't see a list of charges.
Okay, why would that be required?
I mean, that's the full-on evidence, the full-on proof that I was saying.
Why is the District Attorney's Office of the area that found him guilty of the 34 felonies saying that he was
because
found
you
guilty
won't
of the
be able to
34
find
felonies
it.
not enough?
But it's because you won't be able to find it.
Find what?
His criminal record, his actual criminal record.
So do you think that I just want to clarify here? Do you think that the DA was just lying?
Anyone can lie. Forensics can lie.
But that was the official DA office of New York. Why would they lie? And why wouldn't Trump say anything about this? Why wouldn't Trump say anything about this? You're gonna make me go fucking crazy. So you're telling me that ABC lied. You're going to tell me that fucking NBC lied, CNN lied, Fox News. Why would everyone turn on him, including his own people at Fox News?
Because it's breaking news, and that's what you need to get money. That's what you need to get attention. That's what you need to get.
So everyone ever just lied?
Not everyone ever. But most, yes. I mean, I would do it for views and money and everything.
Yo, hold on. Kennedy, thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo with a link. Let's go ahead and put that link into my computer. Did Kennedy just save the fucking day? Oh, Kennedy saved the goddamn diddly darn day. Kennedy, this is precisely what I was looking for. Kennedy, you are an absolute icon. Because guess what? Oh my, Kennedy, you wait down. Let me go ahead and show you. Let me go ahead and show you what Kennedy just found for us all watching. Precisely what I was looking for. Kennedy, 10 out of 10. Oh my god. Okay. I'm going to save this as owned.png on my computer, and then we are going to go ahead, head back over here to TikTok and throw it up and put it right there, and boom. Well, I'm going to go ahead and read through this for you, okay? So what we see here is at the top it says Supreme Court of the State of New York, and then it says the people of the State of New York versus Donald J. Trump. It even gives you the indictment number, which would be 7154323, with the name of the justice, the overseeing judge, that would be Juan Merchan. And it also gives you the date of the 29th of the 5th, I think it was like June of 2024, right? And then we see the first 12 counts. Of course, there's 3 other pages to go over the remaining ones. And what does it say there? It says falsification of business records. And what did they select? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Oh, what about the second one? Guilty or not guilty?
All of them are checked out.
All guilty. Okay, and then what does it say down there? Is that the signature of the standing ADA, as well as another date and foreperson to verify that this is an official court document? Yeah. And by the way, would you be surprised to learn that the official URL where you could see this document for yourself is at nycourts.gov/legacy pdfs/press/pdfs/trump-verdict-sheet.pdf.
But is it forgery?
It can't be forgery. It's on their official court's website.
Is it really? What is the court's website?
nycourts.gov. What the fuck? You are such a spineless cult member. You stand for nothing. You stand for nothing.
I stand for basic human rights and freedom. Basic human rights and freedom.
Basic human rights isn't denying teenagers that are pregnant access to any or all social safety nets. Yeah, I actually do want to see how this cult member with no spine that stands for nothing explains this. Are you ready?
I do have a spine.
You cult member with no spine that stands for nothing.
I'm not a cult member. That's against my religion.
Can I please have you explain this? Can you read off that URL to us?
nycourts.gov.
Can you affirm that this is the same document that I showed you?
Yes.
Okay, so the document that I showed you describing the official verdict form from the New York court that found him guilty of 34 felonies, it's posted on nycourts.gov. So now do you believe that Donald Trump is a 34-count felon?
I don't really believe everything that is told to me, no.
Then why
I believe
is it
that
on...
he could have accusations. Yes, he can have multiple accusations.
Wait, this isn't an accusation. This is a jury verdict sheet on the official New York court's website.
Yes, I see that. It's right in front of my face.
And you don't believe it?
No.
Here's a good question. What evidence would you need to believe that he's a 34-count felon?
I would like to see... So police have computer systems that can bring up every charge that you've ever had. Like when they pull you over, your charges come up. When a police officer pulls me over, they can see that I have a restraining order on someone. That is forever in my record. When the police pull anyone over, they can see anything on your record. License suspension, if you ever been to court, if you have any charges. Anyone can just look that up, like police officers or anything.
Wait, anyone can look that up. That's what I have on the screen right now. So that's not the evidence you need.
But do I really believe that from such a... Like, I don't know if I can really believe all of that.
Why?
Because it's from a website on Wikipedia.
It's not a website on Wikipedia. It's newyorkcourts.gov. It is an official government website.
And can you show me that it's verified by the government of the United... Like...
Yes, because it is posted on a government website.
I'm not really sure about that. I'm looking it up on my computer and I'm seeing multiple
websites. I have it on here right now. .gov. I have a question. What does GOV stand for?
I know what it stands for.
What does it stand for?
Government.
So it's .government, right?
Well, why can't I make a website that says .gov?
Because you don't pertain to any government entity. So you can't make a .gov website.
I probably could if I really tried.
No, you actually can't. You're talking to a full stack web dev here. You cannot make a .gov website. Are you now saying the website is fake?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I see multiple websites like that.
You see multiple .gov websites. I bet you fucking do.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no shit.
Back to what I was saying about the felonies and everything that he has. I feel like we're getting more on debating if it's fake or real, and I feel like that's really off the debate.
It is off the debate because it is real. It's, dude. Oh my God, official New York court website. fucking NPR, fucking AP, fucking, oh, let me get the Fox News up here. Can't forget the Fox News. Fucking, oh, there's AP again. Dude, I'm losing my shit. Oh, is that the Fox News? No, the Fox News is somewhere in here. Where's the Fox News at? Where's the Fox News? I'm losing all my sources over here. Oh, I actually took the Fox News off earlier. What if we just like throw the Fox News on there like real quick? Back, fucking boom! Fox News. Trump is guilty on all 34 counts. What if we just add like another one on here once again with like the full like scaled up court document?
So he's a 34 count.
Boom! Look at that! Look at that! There's the official like court adjudication document. Look at that! Fox News! Yippee! Look at that official court adjudication document. Yippee! Look at that NPR! Yippee! Yippee! Look at over here! Over here! There's AP coming out of it.
You're really
NPR, Fox News, NewYorks.gov, official sheet. What more could you possibly need to believe that this claim is true?
Maybe from Donald Trump himself. Maybe I need to hear it from Donald J. Trump himself. Now, Dean, we're getting really distracted on what I was talking about. And there was one girl that was talking to you about Medicare for people that don't pay taxes or homeless people. And I did jot down some notes that were on your part that you said. You said that should they not be?
Donald Trump, defiant as ever, railing against the dubious history he's made as the first former president convicted of felonies.
If they can do this to me, they can do this to anyone.
As supporters outside Trump Tower flew a flag reading Trump or death, inside, Mr. Trump insisted he'd wanted to take the stand in his own defense. He had the choice and chose not to.
I wanted to testify. The theory is you never testify because as soon as you testify, anybody.
Against the Democratic prosecutor who won the case against him.
It's a very sad thing that's happening in our country, and it's a thing that I'm honored. In a way, I'm honored because somebody has to do it, and I might as well keep going and be the one.
The verdict galvanizing the GOP behind him. The Trump.
Come on.
So I'm not hearing him admit it. I'm hearing him say that he used his Fifth Amendment right not to speak for his testimony. That is what I'm hearing.
Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck is this person, dude? Dude, you're not like, dude, like what the fuck is going on right now? Like, how do you even believe that you exist?
Dean, we are the country's future.
Listen to me here. How do you possibly possess enough evidence to convince you of your own existence if all of the evidence I've given to you so far is not enough to convince you that he's a 34 count felon? How do you possess enough evidence to convince yourself that when you take a step, your foot isn't just going to like phase through the floor below you? We have like the same amount of evidence to justify the laws of physics as we do Donald Trump's 34 felony convictions.
I mean, I could be a little more convinced, but I'm not fully convinced now.
You're not fully convinced of what?
That he is a 34 count convicted felon.
Oh my God, you're insane. Leave the live. I'm running away. I'm running away from you. I am running. Dean is a runner, chat. Dean is a runner. I'm going to move on to the next guest at this point in time. Let's go ahead and get that next guest connected to the stream because I am a runner, everybody. God damn. If you're in that queue, make sure it's because you support Trump. We're going to go and get that next guest connected to the live stream literally right now. I cannot take this shit no longer. She doesn't think.
Hello?
What's up, bro? You support Trump?
Yeah, I support Trump.
All right, Paul, you driving, my friend? Are you driving, Paul? Come on, come back in.
Can you tell?
Hello? Hi, are you driving?
Yeah, I am driving.
Okay, unfortunately, you can't be driving on TikTok Live. Mr. Paul, we got to move on to the next guest. That's God. I got to thank a couple people here. Hey, first and foremost, Coral. Thank you for the $20 on Super Chat. Says she has to be rage baiting. No wish. Sorry, you had a little bit of an echo. I got to kick you. Coral with the $20 on Super Chat says she has to be rage baiting. No way she can expect Trump to actually admit his wrongdoings. Yeah, no. And like he kind of did in that clip. He said, if this could happen to me, it could happen to anybody. Like this is like the fake news media. Like, yeah, that's him admitting that he was indeed found guilty. As well as Elliot, I appreciate you so much for like the super cool fucking gift over on TikTok. As well as it's good to see you. Thank you so much, Elliot. As well as Coral with the 20. I'd also like to quickly thank Nike. Thank you so much for the 50 Canadian dollars over on Super Chat. Thank you for the love, Nike. Nike with the 50 Canadian dollars says, oh God, .gov is a protected thing. It's verified and must be declared. There's a law for it. I'm a web dev too. Web devs unite. But don't lose time with her, even if you brought her the physical new court and print the case results, she would deny it. Absolutely. That was just unreal. As well as Yosef, thank you so much for the $10 over on Super Chat, saying you deserve this for dealing with the last guest. Thank you for the love, Yosef. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Dean, you remember me, bro?
No, should I? Are you particularly...
You remember me, bro? I was in here a couple hours ago, bro.
Okay, I'm just gonna go to kick you and move on to the next guest. Here we go. Dude, this is crazy. Alex, thank you so much for the $100 donation over on PayPal. That is fucking insane. Yo, while we're looking for that next guest, show some love to Alex down below in that chat. Seriously, thank you so much for the love. That is insane. That is so much money. Let's get 1,000 Alex W's in the chat. Thank you so much for your kindness. Yeah. Alex with $100 says, you're awesome. Keep up the good work. Alex, dude, thank you so much for the love, man. That is so incredibly kind of you. Show some love to Alex down below in that chat. I'd also like to thank Christian with the $2, Alana with a 3, In with a 5, Romaine with a 6, saying that your patience is outstanding. It's been a learned skill. And then Jeff with the $10 saying that her cognitive dissonance was all over the fucking place. I agree. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
You have a muffled mic, my friend. Is there anything you could do to fix that?
Is that any better?
No. Do you have any type of like AirPods or anything connected to your phone?
No, I just got one question though. Why is it that liberals...
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go to kick you because your mic is just too bad, dude. We're going to move on to the next guest. Only hop in that QV Sport Trump, please. Just going to get that next guest up in here. Hey, Megan, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. Says first TikTok live. Politics caused me a lot of stress and anxiety, but I like learning about it from you. Well, I'm happy that you're here, Megan. I hope that you've learned a thing or two. Thank you so much for the $10. As well as Myra, thank you for the $25 on PayPal. Myra with a $25 says, hey, Dean, can you say Viva Mexico? It is our Independence Day today. Thank you and love what you do. Viva Mexico. Myra, thank you so much for being here. And shout out to all of the Mexican homies tuning into the stream. Happy Mexican Independence Day. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Dean? How's your day been?
You know what? It's been okay. And you told us that you support Trump.
I do, brother.
Why is that?
Why? Because, man, he's just an American patriot. He's an American patriot. He's Trump, man.
Okay, I have a question.
He fights for the Americans.
Okay, I have a question. Do American patriots care about like core American values?
Look, Dean.
It's a question. Can you answer it? Can you answer it? Do they?
Yes, I can. Look, I'm an American patriot. I served in Verdansk for 5 years.
The fuck is
Trump?
Never heard of Verdansk.
I love the American people.
Okay.
So if I can do it, so can you.
Answer my question, quite frankly. If you're an American patriot, do you care about...
I said yes.
Okay. Would you say that like the... would you say that the American Constitution is a core American value?
Yes.
Okay. So in other words, patriots care about core American values like the Constitution. So true patriots care about the Constitution. He doesn't. He called for its termination in December of 2022.
Okay, look, Dean. Trump did not say, let's get rid of the Constitution.
Well, he specifically called for a termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. And like since day one in office, he's been violating the Constitution. Day one, literally, Executive Order number 14160 infringed upon the 14th Amendment. Like a month ago, he passed an executive order attempting to ban the burning of the American flag. That infringed upon the First Amendment. He called for a termination of the 22nd Amendment when he said he might want to run for a third term. It's all over.
Okay, I got a question. You saying that we should be able to burn the American flag in America?
This is a troll. I'm going to kick him. Yo, WW, I appreciate you for the level up ship. That is very kind of you. Thank you so much for the love. WW, you are based. Let's go to get that next guest loaded in and connected to the live. Here we go, everyone. Who is next? We got Braden Smith connecting. We got Braden Smith. Apparently, like, Verdansk is a Call of Duty map. Oh, God. What's up? Do you support Trump?
I do, but I had a quick question for you personally.
How old are you?
It's unreal. I'm 18.
What year were you born in?
2005.
Did you just come up here to ask a question, or did you?
Yeah, I just had a quick question. It's kind of unrelated to Trump, and it's okay if you are just take.
I'm sorry, man. We are just looking to debate people that support Trump. I hope you do have a good rest of your day, though. Let's go to move on to the next guest right now. Quite frankly, hop in that queue if and only if you support Trump as president and you want to come up here and give me a piece of your mind. Who's next? Who is next? Let's go ahead and get that next guest. Ariana, connected to the stream. Hey, what's up? Do you support Trump?
Hello. Yes.
How old are you?
I am 18.
What
I was
year-
born in 2006.
Okay, what month?
October 1st.
Fantastic. Let me go ahead and take a handful of people, then let's hop into the debate. Gabrielle, with the $10 on Super Chat, says, Dean, have you watched One Piece? No, I actually have not, Gabrielle. I've not watched One Piece. However, I am kind of familiar with it. A couple friends that really like it. As well as, hey, Carter, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Show some love to Carter down below in that chat. Carter with the 20 big one says, keep dusting these Trump supporters. I appreciate who you are and what you stand for. Well, I appreciate you for that love, Carter. Show some love to Carter down below. As well as Riley with a $30 over on Venmo says you're wonderful. Thank you so much for the love, Riley. So are you. Shout out to Carter and Riley. And then Mason with the $10 for being great. And Danielle with the $20. Guys, thank you so much. Like, this is seriously so much love. Danielle with the $20 says you keep me sane. Sometimes these lives drive me insane, but sometimes they could be beneficial. They can. As well as Olivia, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, and then Travis with the $1, and then T with the $10. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you guys so much. Take it away. Why do you support Trump?
Well, I'd like to go back to the topic about the convicted felonies that he has.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry, I have a little bit of anxiety, so I might stutter a bit from time to time.
Don't worry. I have anxiety too. I have an anxiety pin for it.
Oh, okay. So Trump's not technically a felon. An incident from 2017, he sent hush money to his lawyer, Michael, to send Stormy Daniels for having an affair. In the state of New York, it's a misdemeanor, but the state claimed that Trump falsified business records because he sent 34 monthly payments to Michael and 34 felonies as a legal expense. Then they also claimed that that wasn't for that reason and that Trump actually sent it to Stormy Daniels to help out with his campaign as a campaign expense and falsifying business records. So this is the weird part. There's a thing called statute of limitations, meaning you can't be convicted for something after a certain amount of time in the state of New York. It's 2 to 5 years, meaning 2017 is a bit longer than 5 years. So that happened before the election as well.
Okay. So you said some things that are true, and you said some things that are false. We'll start off with the one thing that was glaringly false, which is that he's not technically a felon, because he technically is. So the felonies that he was found guilty of, I could actually just show them to you on screen right now, because, you know, we have all that good info popped up. Let's go ahead and blow this up and read it together. The technical felonies he was found for was for falsifying business records in the first degree, which is a Class E felony in the state of New York. Now, what makes it a Class E felony, what makes it first degree, is falsifying business records with the intent of concealing another crime, okay? And I believe the second crime that the jury used to conclude that he was guilty of this in the first degree was to attempt to, like, change or manipulate the outcome of an election. But it is a fact that the falsification of business records in the first degree is a Class E felony in the state of New York, and it is a fact that is exactly what he was found guilty of.
Okay. So do you have anything to say about that it was first said that it was a legal expense, and then they claimed that it wasn't for the reason that they started with, and then they decided to claim later on that it was falsifying business records, when at first it was that it was an affair. You know what I'm saying here?
Okay, well, cheating on your wife isn't illegal in New York. So they never claimed that he cheated on his wife, and that's what they were prosecuting him for. If you followed Alvin Bragg's prosecution from before he was elected as prosecutor until he prosecuted Trump, and then Trump was found guilty by unanimous jury of 9, I mean, it was a consistent dialogue. They charged him with the falsification of business records in the first degree, right? Because keep in mind that in the second or third degree are misdemeanors. They charged him with it in the first degree as a felony, and this was very consistent. And you can know more about said consistency by just like merely looking at all the court documents. Like I don't know what you want me to tell you here. You told us that he wasn't technically found guilty of a felony. He was, and that's what the unanimous jury of 12 concluded. He is a felon.
So why is it that Obama was caught falsifying business records and misappropriating campaign funds, what Trump was charged with, and he was only forced to pay a fine, and he was never charged? And he used his campaign funds to pay
Well, this
a
would be
portion.
dependent upon like state law. Like what state was he forced to pay a fine in?
Oh, I guess that's a good point. Okay, yeah, that was a good point. I had mainly questions about what I have heard, so.
Yeah, well, no worries. I mean, so what is your reason why you support Trump?
I support Trump because he closed the open border.
How did he close the open border?
Well, gosh, it's really hard to say this. So basically what he did is he changed, because Biden had the borders open, correct?
How did Biden open the borders?
It was Kamala. Was it Kamala? It was Kamala.
Yeah, it was Kamala. So how did Kamala, is that how you pronounce her name, Kamala? How did Kamala open the borders?
Open Border Act. The Open Border Act.
Okay,
Right?
I would really stop listening to the devil in your ear, because the Open Border Act is pure gibberish nonsense. There was no Open Border Act that was passed by the Biden-Harris administration. They're wrong.
Can you prove that, though? Because that's what...
Okay, you're asking me to prove that something never happened. It is like strenuously hard to prove that something never happened. That's why, like in debate, we understand that the burden of proof would rest on the accuser, or more so the individual making the positive claim. You are making the positive claim that they passed this bill, meaning the burden of proof would be on you to prove it, not on me to disprove it.
Okay, so then how come... So this is just stuff that I've seen when Biden was in office, was that there was like people from across the border that were being given phones and given like privileges and stuff like that. But how would that happen if the border was closed?
Okay, so you're saying that people were given funds. So first and foremost, the Biden-Harris administration didn't give any funds or money to undocumented immigrants because they literally can't. A bill in the 90s made it illegal, okay? A bill in the 90s required all federal funds purposed for like social safety nets to only be offered to those with lawful residence or citizenship inside of this country. When you want to talk about the dissemination of some funds in the Biden-Harris administration, you're going to be talking about the funds as allocated to asylum seekers who are legal immigrants, not undocumented immigrants. And then more so, just the fact that there were undocumented immigrants in the country under Biden doesn't mean that Biden passed an open border bill, and which would be a logical fallacy. So once again, the question would remain on you. What did he do to open the border?
That's just what I had seen when I looked it up, was that it was the Open Border Act. I looked that up on Google.
Well, I don't even know if it's Google that told. I thought I heard somebody whisper that to you.
She's the one that's looking it up. She showed me, because I can't look it up on my phone on live, I believe.
Okay, well, what did they look up to find this? What is like the title of the article? Who published this? Oh, this elusive open border bill.
Okay, well, I have no idea.
It turned out that your friend didn't actually Google that at all and just said it?
No, she did. She's just looking through documents here. Shut up. Sorry, my dad.
What, dude? Okay, does your dad typically call you the R word? What?
He jokes. I don't take it seriously.
Are you good?
Shut up.
I think I gotta.
That's fine.
I'm sorry. We'll go ahead and continue.
Okay. So you don't think that Trump closed the border, that he's helping get immigrants over that weren't supposed to be here, illegal immigrants.
Okay, well, so my claim would be is I don't think that Donald Trump passed any effective policy to reduce like undocumented border crossings. I would rather say that the reason we've seen a reduction in undocumented border crossings under the Trump administration so far is because he's been scaring them away by basically describing to them that they'll have a worse quality of life once they're in the country. And he's been doing that by like illegally deporting people where they were then abused and tortured in places like Secot and El Salvador, in places illegally deporting Venezuelan immigrants without any due process, or blackbacking college students and taking them to detention centers 1,000 miles away against the court orders of a judge, or like illegally detaining legal immigrants like Mahmoud Khalil for 3 months in a detention center with no reason. I'm also just concerned about you. I don't know. It's pretty like bad of your dad, dude. But I don't want to. I'm obviously on a speaker here, so that's all I'm gonna say.
That's fine. So it's not. So what proof do you have that he was illegally taking them into custody, like moving them across the border?
Yeah, for sure. Point number one, a ruling from SCOTUS on April 10th, 2025. All 9 SCOTUS judges determined that the Trump administration's removal of Abrigo Garcia to El Salvador was illegal.
Sorry, can you repeat that last part? I couldn't hear you.
Actually, I'm going to move on to the next guest. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Okay, you too. Bye.
The reason why I'm doing that is because I'm scared if she agreed with me and had her mind changed. You know, might upset her father. So we're going to move on to the next guest. So we're going to go to get that next guest connected into the live stream, guys. Go ahead and hop in that queue if you support Trump. Everyone just do be patient while we're working on getting that next guest connected. Everyone do be patient. Hey, what's up? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I support Trump.
Okay, how old are you?
I am 12.
Okay, my friend. I have to remove you. You got to be at least 18 to be on TikTok Live. I'm going to say 2 things to you, though. First thing I'm going to say to you, I wouldn't be worrying about politics at 12 if I were you. I wouldn't at all be worrying about politics at 12. Be a kid. Be a child. Be a kid. Have fun. Hang out with friends. Do your homework. Be a kid. Let's go to move on to the next guest. Thank you for the $20 business account. That is incredibly kind of you. Go ahead and take it away, Chase. I'm going to go ahead and... God, that is ridiculous. It is. Go ahead, Chase. Tell us why you support Trump. Absolutely ridiculous.
All right. So I mostly support Trump because of the economic growth that was in his first presidential period, and him keeping immigration levels low.
Okay, so first and foremost, you said that you support him because of the economic growth in his first term. What did he do to effectively grow the economy? Because when we look at it like his one big economic policy through the first term, which was the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, 2 Harvard economists, one left-leaning and one right-leaning in a cohort study tell us that it only attributed to like 0.2% GDP growth per year. Actually 0.02% GDP growth per year, which is incredibly marginal and small. Not to mention today in his second term, we've had negative GDP growth. In the first quarter of this year, the GDP went down.
Okay, so before all the COVID, a lot of top stocks like the S&P and NASDAQ hit record highs. And when the Tax Cut and like Jobs Act did happen, it lowered corporate tax from like, I don't know off the top of my head, but it's like 40 to like 21% or something like that.
Okay,
and
so
then it cut
the
off
corporate tax, right?
individual tax. What's up?
Yeah, so the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act did lower the corporate tax rate, but this doesn't change the fact that studies done on its efficacy in increasing GDP growth attributed very marginal GDP growth to it. Then also, for everybody in the chat saying that he didn't vote, I understand that, guys. It has been almost a year since the election. Like during the election and like maybe like the month or two after, I was only debating individuals that did vote for Trump in the election. But we got to move forward here. If there are like brand new American adults that are now 18 that couldn't vote in the election that support Trump, they are valid of coming up on this stream and debating. But go ahead.
And then my other point was there was also really low levels of unemployment. It was around like 3.5% or something like that.
Okay, so would you? So point number one, we had even lower levels of unemployment under the Biden-Harris administration. But point number two, are you saying that because Donald Trump was president when we had these low levels of unemployment, that therefore he caused them?
Yeah.
Okay. So this means that he also caused the highest level of unemployment that we've had in America in the last 100 years, because that happened in April of 2020 at 14.9%.
Well, I would also argue that that was a big part of COVID-19, and he really didn't have a much bigger as a role into that unemployment rate.
Exactly. Well, you're actually spot on. COVID did cause that record high level of unemployment. But the fact of the matter is, now you have proven to me and everybody else watching that external variables can influence and impact how things happen inside of an economy. But you very conveniently forgot that fact when you told us that the only information that you need access to conclude that he caused the lower levels of unemployment is merely the fact that he was president while they happened.
Yeah, you could be right there, but I feel like that some external factors can outweigh other external factors. Like COVID-19 was a pretty major factor. I would say it caused a lot of
nobody's
change
denying
in
that.
life.
Literally nobody's denying that. That's the point. You're walking into the point. You're walking into the point of the fact that external factors can influence how things happen in an economy. So if you want to argue that he caused like these lower levels of unemployment, you'd have to detail to me specifically how. But like once again, I just want to reiterate that we've actually seen unemployment rising under his second administration. So if you care about employment and it's been going up in the last 8 months, why would you still support him today?
Well, I just agree with more of his ideology more than Biden and what he's done in the past for the economy and how it's been at it's been pretty good, you know, when back in 2016, I would say.
So like what ideologies of Trump's do you align with?
Just as to keep immigration down for the most part, and
keeping immigration down? Okay, why do you want immigration to be lower when immigration helps our country?
I do. That's one. I'm more even on that because I do agree that immigration. Some people don't want to do those hardworking jobs, and the immigrants they will do those jobs. So I agree with that on some part, but I also think that a lot of that can lead to like a lot of crime rates. So I really don't know how I feel about that, but I think I'm more leaning towards Trump's side with immigration control.
Point number one, you need some WD-40 for your chair. Point number two, are you an actual U.S.-born citizen?
Yeah.
You are 2.5 times more likely to commit violent crimes compared to undocumented immigrants. You are 3 times more likely to commit property crimes compared to undocumented immigrants. And you are 3.5 times more likely to commit petty crimes compared to undocumented immigrants. Undocumented immigrants actually bring our crime rates down.
What's that according to?
That's according to PNAS, who is a cohort that has been studying and tracking crime rates in America since the 19th century.
Okay, but also I would argue. Wait, let me get out this chair real quick. I would like to argue that there's a lot less immigrants based on the U.S. citizens, and that once they commit that one crime, then they would get deported, so they don't have the opportunity to like commit more crimes, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, point number one, it is the case that the stat is per capita, meaning that it accounts for the fact that there's like less undocumented immigrants nominally than citizens. And point number two, although like immigrants have been deported after committing crimes, this doesn't change the fact that at any given point in time, there's still a growing amount of undocumented immigrants in the country, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And point number three, we could actually like positively attribute reasons why they'd be less likely to commit crimes. Most notably being that if they do commit a crime, they might be deported.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, but this just ultimately doesn't change the conclusion that they're less likely to commit crimes. It just merely explains it.
Yeah, but I would just say, for the most part, that I don't think we should keep the borders open. I think we should just keep it, get your visa and come in legally, and I think that would be fine.
Well, I mean, I think that these are going to be two varying claims that don't create a true dichotomy. It's not either we allow like no immigration or we just have completely open borders, and you're the one that defended the idea of having less immigration. So, what is one positive outcome of less immigration on the country? Like, point number one, like our birth rates are going down. Right now, they're at an unsustainable level. We actually need immigrants to sustain birth rates in this country. Point number two, like they economically contribute and prop up our economy. And point number three, with a better economy comes lower level of poverty, comes less crime, meaning that immigrants actually overall reduce crime.
Yeah, but I think the population part, like, that's more of a worldwide issue, because if you look at the, like, what's it called? America is like on the lowest birth. I think it's like 0.6, I think, for every couple. And that needs to go up. But I don't really see how immigrants can influence that.
Because they help sustain the population with a decreasing birth rate?
I know, but like, are you saying that like immigrants are more likely to have babies?
No, I'm saying that literally we have a decreasing birth rate, meaning that if we had no immigration, we'd have a decreasing population, right? But because we do have immigration, we don't have a decreasing population, but rather have an increasing population.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But also with like the whole entire immigrant thing, you saying like it's good for the economy, but the immigrants, they could be using like the public services, like the schools and like hospitals and stuff without paying it, so they're not gonna like.
Yes. No, typically children that go to public school don't pay taxes. You're right.
No, I'm talking about like hospitals and emergency care.
Anyone could go to a hospital and seek emergency care, even if you're not insured or pay taxes, and that's also true of citizens. I'm confused on what your point is, especially considering the fact that immigrants are more likely to actively participate and work in the American labor force.
I'm talking about how they like don't pay in taxes. Like they don't pay taxes.
Immigrants pay taxes. What the hell?
Yeah, but not to offset the cost that they use on the market.
What reason do you have to believe that?
I saw it on like the news somewhere.
Okay, well that's not a source, my friend. It's a claim, but it's not a source. You have to be able to justify the claim by providing a source for the claim.
I could probably find a source.
Okay, feel free to do it. Do you want to do that right now?
Do you want me to do that right now?
Yes.
All right, hold up.
Okay, while he's doing that, real quick, Lori, thank you so much for the $25 super chat. Saying we are also happy that you're back. I cannot tell you enough times, but Lori, thank you so much for being here. I'm happy that you're happy that I'm back, and I'm happy that you're here. Thank you for the $25, Lori. You are awesome. Show some love to Lori down below in that comment section. As well as Hannah, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Anna says, you coming up on my For You page on TikTok has helped me really educate myself on what Trump has done. Growing up, I always went along with what my mom said and stood by it. And as a 26-year-old, I'm finally being able to be independent in my decisions. Thank you. Hannah, you are literally the reason why I do these lives. You are awesome. Thank you so much for the love. As well as Nathan, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo, as well as the message. And Juliana, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Juliana with the $10 says, hey, thank you so much for doing these streams. I almost voted for Trump in the last election, but you changed my mind. Thank you so much. Juliana. Literally why I do these streams. You are fucking fantastic, and I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Juliana. You are literally so fantastic. As well as, let's see here, Sophia. Thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal. Show some love to Sophia down below in that chat. Sophia says, Dean, I know you've probably don't believe in witchcraft. Just know a lot of us on Witch Talk are worried about you and are casting protection spells on you so you could keep speaking out safely. Dude. Oh, dude, all the love to you, Sophia. Thank you for the spells of protection, my friend. Shout out to Sophia, LFG. As well as Everly, thank you for the $10. Saying, hey, Dean, my daughter Jade and I love your streams. She thinks you and Parker are the coolest. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you, Everly. I'm having a pretty good day. Thank you so much for the love. As well as Amanda with a 5. And Aubrey with a 5 as well. I appreciate you guys. Did you find that source?
So, looks like you got me on that one, because so the source I found, it basically said what you said. It actually says that they pay more taxes than the. It says the economic contributions of immigrants far exceed the cost of those additional public services. That's what it says.
So your source disproved you.
Yeah, I'm saying that you were right on that one.
Fantastic, my friend. Is there anything else that you wanted to debate here?
What about? Let's do security concerns.
Okay. That was my nice way of trying to say that I wanted to move on to the next guest. That was my nice way of saying that I wanted to move on to the next guest. You have a good one though, man. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up and connected to the stream right now. We got Hellman Inc. loading in. And this next guest will probably be our last.
Hello?
Hey, what's up? My mom wanted... Oh, you have a lot of background noise.
Oh, sorry. Let me hold on. Let me turn off the stuff that is making that noise.
For sure.
Sorry.
Yo, Wolf! Thank you so much. Em, thank you so much for the wolf. Holy shit, what a gift. Thank you so much, Em. You were awesome. Thank you.
Is that better?
Chat, is this okay for you? In my earphones, that background noise is like stunningly loud.
Hold on, let me...
No, okay, all right. Sounds good. I'm glad that we were on the same page there. Sometimes, like, I guess background noise could be like louder for me because it is being piped into my ears through my headphones at like 1 billion decibels, but it's like not necessarily too loud for you guys watching at home on your phone or laptop or something. Quite frankly, yo, Sray, dude, thank you so much for the $100 super chat over on YouTube. So good to see you again, Sray. Sray says, I hope you and Parker are doing well. And you hope my birthday was wonderful. You know what? I don't think I got a chance to really talk about that much. But Sray, thank you so much for the $100 over on Super Chat. That is so incredibly kind of you. I did end up having a good celebration of my birthday out in Boulder. It was so much fun. However, I have a crazy story about it. I'm going to tell you that while we're looking for that last Trump supporter to come up here and debate. There's like a very specific restaurant that I really like in Boulder. I'm going to continue the story in a bit. Hey, what's up, Dylan? Do you support Trump?
What's up, man?
Hey, are you MAGA?
I don't really know what I am. So I'm in the U.S. military. I'm in the Army, and you just popped up on my thing. So I was just kind of seeing like what you believe and like what you're thinking.
Oh,
you know?
Dude. Hell yeah, honestly, if you want to know what I believe, I would just simply direct you towards watching either the videos on my page or having a conversation or like watching the conversations unfold on live, man. I think that's great. I got to kick you just because there's a little bit of background noise there. But in a nutshell, I mean, I believe in progressivism and liberalism and furthering our country in a positive direction by just simply upholding critical thought. I think that if people critically thought more than they do, that this country would not only be smarter, but better off for everybody in it. Because a lot of the problems with this country, regardless if it is regressive economic policy that hurts us or bigotry and hate, are ultimately all illogical and unreasonable and are things that would never be entailed by a rational mind. So I just simply advocate for people to have more rational minds. All right. We're going to try to get that very last guest up in here of the day. What's up, Paul? You support Trump? Oh, they left. Oh, yes, story. So there's like this one restaurant that I really like in Boulder that I really wanted to go to for my 21st birthday. And originally my plan was to go there on my 21st birthday. But then my 21st birthday ended up falling on Labor Day. So it was closed. So I canceled my trip out to Boulder. And I rescheduled it for the next weekend, so like in a week. And then I bought the hotel. I got everything I needed to start getting out there. And then once I was there, or not even once I was there, once I was on my way to there, I called the restaurant. I was like, hey, can I make a reservation? They're like, well, we're actually closed on the one day you're going to be here because of a private wedding. So I never ended up getting together. There's a story. It's pretty short. Okay. All right. We're going to try a little bit harder to find maybe like one last person to come up here and have a conversation with us. That's going to be about it. I do got to go soon because speaking of dinner, I think that my mom wanted to have dinner with me tonight. So I'm going to go eat with her. And if we can't get a guest up here shortly, I'm just going to end without a last conversation because I think she's wanting to eat here pretty shortly. What's up, Jake? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Jake, you are 14. You got to be at least 18 to be on TikTok Live. So unfortunately, I'm going to go and kick you and move on to the next guest. You do take care, though. You do take care. Who is going to be next? We got Jaden Mead loading up in. As well as Coral. Thank you so much for the $10 over on Super Chat. And Squirrely with the $10 as well, saying, thank you, Dean. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the love. As well as Ginoff. Thank you so much for the $50 over on Super Chat. Dude, that is very kind of you. Thank you, Ginoff. Ginoff with a 50 bomb says, Dean, you are such a peach. No, I'm actually not familiar with that idea.
Yeah, so happy to explain it. So internal locus of control kind of aligns with the values and ideas of like meritocracy. So I have personal agency in what happens to me in the world. I'm in control of my outcomes. And personally, I have a vested interest in my own success. The flip side of that we would call an external locus control, which kind of relates to I don't have control over my circumstances. I can be a victim of my circumstances, and or circumstances in my life I do not have agency because other people have power over what happens to me more than what I have over what happens to myself. So I think that not only is this an inferior psychological position to live by because it leads to, essentially lower quality of life and higher amounts of mental illness and just rates of depression, anxiety, etc.
Okay, so I think so there is like many circumstances where, yeah, it is true individuals will have no control over their life. Like think victims of like ethnic cleansing, genocide, kidnapping, murder, wartime, etc. But for the most part, maybe what we see to be true more of the time in American society, it's not going to be so black or white. It's not either that you have total control over your circumstances or no control at all. Yeah. In fact, a really good analogy I would give you to demonstrate this point is let's take your psychological description of your worldview here and let's apply it to an analogy. You versus me. We are trying to run a marathon and you want to win, you want to finish before me, and I want to win, I want to finish before you. Now imagine that you got to run this marathon with running shoes on dirt, and I had to run this marathon barefoot in oil. Obviously, I'm still going to have some self-control over myself and my life and my ability to run that marathon. I'm still going to be moving my legs and picking up my feet. But at the end of the day, although I have that level of agency, I'm going to be held back more than you comparatively because you have circumstances in which better enable you to actualize that agency to achieve your goals by having running shoes and running on dirt compared to being barefoot in something like oil, right? And I feel like this is a fair description of the reality that we live in. There are systems in which would systemically limit and or prevent the opportunity of one person or one group of people compared to another person or another group of people, and that is going to be a fact.
Yeah, I get that. I think you need to have a healthy balance of, if you're trying to control everything in your life, then you might be a control freak, right? So when we're talking about personal agency, it's important to have agency and say that no matter the circumstances, I have the ability to overcome the circumstances that I've been given, even if I've been dealt a shorthand. So I know you can kind of go down the route of like affirmative action. But
the goal here is to try to ensure that is the smallest amount of people as possible, or no people at all, are dealt that shorthand.
Right, but what I'm saying is that having an internal,
by supporting somebody like Trump, you are only ensuring that more people are dealt that shorthand by taking away healthcare from 10 million low-income Americans, by taking away food stamps from 3 million low-income Americans, by reducing the purchasing power of the average American. Like, these are all things in which will ensure more shorthands. And obviously, can we agree that we don't want those more shorthands?
So I'm talking about internal locus of control as...
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to engage in my point. You're just going to repeat what you already said.
No, I'm saying it's like the law of gravity, right? Like, you jump off a building, you're going to get crushed by when you hit the ground. And having an internal locus of control is just proven scientifically and psychologically to lead to better outcomes in life in general. And so it's having an internal versus external locus of control regardless.
I think that now, like, you're just like freaking out and saying words because now you've realized that at the end of the day, right, you have to admit that being dealt a shorthand, quote unquote, can limit the amount of opportunity that you have to actualize that quote unquote self-control of the locus over your life and whatnot. And that the goal of like American politics is to prevent that shorthand from being dealt to as many as possible and make sure that the hand that is being dealt to everyone equally and fairly is as big as possible.
It shouldn't limit your agency, though, because agency is not about circumstances you've been given. It's about your ability to respond to the circumstances that you've been given.
Right, but obviously, varying circumstance will impede upon your ability to respond and make it harder for you to actualize your agency in the world around you. If I'm born into a family with $1 billion, I'm going to be significantly better able to self-actualize an agency of wanting to be an entrepreneur or CEO or business owner compared to somebody that's born into a family with nothing. So it's all about the barriers to the actualization of your agency over your material conditions and how different systemic barriers in America or in the world can prevent you from said actualization or make it harder. And the goal is to make it easier for everyone.
Okay, so I'm talking about, and I forgot the name of the book, but I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's a book written by a Jew who lived through the Holocaust, right? He wrote a book about how obviously he was dealt a really crappy hand, but if he just would have surrendered to the circumstances he was given, he literally would not have survived. And he wrote the book about how no matter how crappy the situation was being put in a concentration camp, his ability to have agency and control what he could control in the circumstances that he was given is literally what fueled him to be able to survive the concentration camps and to actually like live a successful life and write a book about it, right? So, and the reason I'm bringing this up is I saw a live where you were confronted and this person was calling you out essentially for the Charlie Kirk unaliving event, saying that because you're white, that you personally can't understand what it's like to live in somebody's shoes who's celebrating an event like that happening. And I thought that was really unfair of them to attack you in this way, because morally, you support the position that it doesn't matter who it is or what happens, that nobody deserves to be unalived in front of their friends and family.
Okay.
And so
point number one, I think that the topic of conversation that was more so, and no, this is of course something I spoke about yesterday in my life. The main point was like feeling a sense of relief, not that like he died or more so like how he died, but rather because we had an actor espousing bigotry to no longer espousing bigotry. And I mean, I think it's a fair point to say that, you know, if you're not directly impacted by the bigotry, you're going to have a harder time understanding, feeling relief that bigotry doesn't exist anymore than if you were to feel directly impacted by the bigotry. That's pretty self-evident. And like, obviously this is true. Like if you were born into a family with billions of dollars and you grew up and you stay in a family with billions of dollars all your life, it's going to be significantly more difficult for you to understand what it is like to live in poverty compared to somebody that lives in poverty. And why? Well, this is just another description of like classism and how it could impact you and change your perceptions of the world around you and make it harder for you to understand certain facts of different material conditions, given different treatment under different perceptions or receptions more so of classism. I mean, I think that's clear. But you're just telling me that this all just wraps into a larger point of like my response to Charlie Kirk. Oh, I'm here to debate why you support Trump. Are you going to give an argument?
So what I'm saying is I support the psychological
Okay, so now you're just repeating what you already said, but I thought I already debunked this by bringing up the fact that like individuals can have a more difficult time like self-actualizing what they want to do and why, given their material conditions, and the goal would be to make the material conditions better. What is a fallacy?
It's a logical fallacy.
Define logical fallacy.
If you let me finish.
Do it.
So
define logical fallacy.
It's a fallacy to believe that somebody that has started further ahead with different circumstances necessarily has it easier.
It's not a fallacy, it's reality, my friend.
Think about people that...
It's not a fallacy. It is...
Are
1 second. It's not a fallacy, it's reality. Like, listen, dude, the one thing that is applied to me throughout my life and having it easier or harder would be like income and access to money. Okay, right? There is points in my youth where I had nothing, and right now I'm doing good for my age, right? Those are facts. And I will absolutely tell you that I have it easier today than I did when I had nothing. And that should be intuitively common sense, meaning that it's not fallacious to assume, given that your material conditions are better and access to more resources, you will have it easier. It's not fallacious, but it's rather reality. Then additionally, if access to more resources or better material conditions don't make it so you have it easier, then why does everybody want more resources in better material conditions? The fact that we as humans are self-incentivized to yearn more resources and better material conditions on its own proves it to be self-evident that more resources and better material conditions make it easier. We want those things because they make it easier. Or do you want more money? Do you want more wealth? Do you want better material conditions?
If you hold the worldview that I have, a Christian worldview, that those things are not what bring fulfillment. Those things are not what bring happiness. Those things are not what ultimately bring a sense of purpose and belonging in this world.
Wait. Taking
it separate from material possessions.
Taking a car to work compared to a bike will make it easier. This doesn't mean that owning a car is going to make you feel personally fulfilled.
Is it possible that when you start with difficult circumstances, you're actually better?
Don't pivot. I respond to that last point. You said that, these things are not going to make you fulfilled or give you a life purpose. Okay. Well, they still make things easier, right? So it is the case that owning a car compared to not owning a car, maybe owning a bike, will make things easier. Does this mean that owning a car will give your life purpose?
Adversity builds character. Character is what builds to fulfillment.
You're not going to respond to that last point.
My question for you is...
I don't want a question from you. I want you to respond to all the points that I've made.
Which one?
Yeah.
I'll answer one, and then I want to follow up with one more question.
Yeah, for sure. I want you to respond to the fact that access to better material conditions or more resources will literally make things easier, given the fact that that's why we want them, and that's self-implied and self-evident. Respond to that point.
Making things easier does not equate to a better life.
Okay, so now you're actually conceding that it doesn't even make things easier. So earlier you said it doesn't make things easier. Do you concede that point?
How do you define easier?
So now we're going to get down to easier, more desirable, less conflicting set of desires, better off well-being as a whole.
Okay, so when you have more difficult circumstances, that is an opportunity for you to build character.
And you're not responding to the goddamn point.
So there's people that are born billionaires.
I don't want you to say anything new. I want you to respond to the point that I made. Having better material conditions or having access to more resources does indeed make things easier, and this is self-proven in the fact that we yearn better material conditions and we yearn more resources because they make things easier. Easier being defined and or cashed out in a sense of being conducive towards a better off well-being.
We have different definitions of easier because I don't agree with the premise of how you're defining easier.
Okay, well then just apply your definition of easy, then give me your definition. I mean, obviously, if you're going to have things easier, what is your definition?
So my definition of easier, we're presupposing behind the word easier that life is supposed to be easy.
Oh God, dude, don't give me
That's
the
the
fucking
premise
philosophy.
of
I
your
just want a
argument.
definition. I just want a definition.
So what I'm saying is that
it's also
the purpose of life is not to be easier.
It's also not that like life has a prescriptive meaning of being easy. It's that life should be easy because when life.
But that's my worldview versus your worldview, and that's why we differ on our political stance.
Wait, so if
Because
you're
I don't-
inevitably telling me that your worldview is not conducive towards the conclusion that life should be easier and that human flourishment should be like more present, then is it just the case that you support the political stances that you do because you think they'll make life harder and reduce human flourishment?
No, I believe in a stance that sets people up for the maximum character development and becoming who they were meant to be.
Dude, that's crazy. You're literally saying that the reason that you're literally saying the reason that we disagree politically speaking is because your set of political beliefs is conducive towards less human flourishment.
Life is not meant to be easy.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Ooh, I support what I do because I'm evil and I want less human flourishment.
No, life is meant for us to develop character. That is the purpose of life. It's to develop character.
God. Oh my
It's
God,
to
yes.
grow
More
in
human
virtue.
suffering, less
It's
human
to grow.
flourishment.
The purpose of life is to grow in virtue.
Okay,
it's
well,
to grow in the virtues of
I
personal
support
agency, of responsibility. It's to grow in courage. The purpose of life is not to be easy. And this is the whole problem with the presupposition behind the leftist worldview.
Oh, don't say
they view.
So what your argument is that the liberal, the progressive, the leftist worldview is conducive towards more human flourishment and less human suffering, and that's an issue.
It's humanist. We're presupposing that humanism is the ultimate virtue in society.
It's actually that's false. I'll just tell you what it's presupposing. There's two presuppositions. It's that flourishment is good and suffering is bad. those are the two presuppositions under the view. It's that flourishment is good and wait, do you agree that suffering is bad?
When you have an eternal perspective, suffering is temporary.
But is suffering bad?
So I believe that we will flourish in eternity.
Is suffering bad?
Suffering is when you have a temporary perspective, you think of suffering.
I just want a yes or a no. Is suffering bad?
You know, you did calculus, right? You know how in math they do the limit as x approaches infinity is equal to what?
I'm not going to accept a question. I will only accept an answer. Is suffering bad?
The limit as x approaches 0, which is suffering, is 0. As x approaches infinity, the limit is 0.
Words.
So suffering converges to 0.
This guy hit the bong before he joined.
If you put suffering on the x-axis or on the y-axis, and you put time on the x-axis,
I just want to know if suffering is bad.
As the limit approaches infinity is 0.
When you
have an eternal perspective,
dude. Yes or no? Is suffering bad?
When you have an eternal perspective, suffering is 0. If you believe that you're living for a temporal,
I'm really trying to like claw at what you're saying here to try to find an answer. When you say suffering is 0, are you saying that suffering is meaningless?
Exactly. In the span of eternity, yes, suffering is meaningless. So that's why we don't live for the temporal; we live for the eternal.
So ultimately speaking, the suffering caused by slavery and the Holocaust was meaningless.
In the eternal perspective, yes.
Dude, get the fuck off my live. Get the hell. DR, thank you for the fireworks. That dude has fucking walked himself into moral nihilism. Actually, not even just moral nihilism. That guy has walked himself into all-encompassing nihilism. And he's saying that because he is an all-encompassing nihilist that doesn't think anything ever matters, that if you are not an all-encompassing nihilist that doesn't think that anything ever matters, then you are wrong and a bad person, and you are the problem. What an interesting perspective. As well as, hey, I just saw this. Gene Nav, thank you so much for the $100 over on YouTube Super Chat. This came in a while. I'm sorry that I didn't see this. I was talking to the last guest. Gene Nav, thank you so much for the $100. Gene Nav says, Peach might be an understatement. Your dialogue is often the highlight of my week. Well, I'm happy that you're here. And once again, that is just fucking ridiculous. Thank you for the $100, bro. This is like the 4th or 5th time I've seen you here, and I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much, Gene Nav. As well as for everybody in the TikTok comment section spamming Trey Reed. Dude, I found out about Trey Reed last evening, and it's scary. That shit's scary. So, he was found. I don't even know if I could say that word. Hanging. I guess I'm gonna say that. I don't know if it'll be taken down on TikTok. From a tree, and the cops and mortician who did the medical examination of his body said, like, point number 1, they found no indication of wrongdoing. And then the mortician said that, you know, like his legs weren't broken, his arm wasn't broken. However, apparently, I saw last night that the family is saying otherwise. That the family is saying that they found out that his arm was broken and his legs were broken. Keep your eyes on Trey Reed, okay? Please keep your eyes on Trey Reed. You know, when I found that story last night, it greatly disturbed me, and it should disturb you too. I think that our eyes should be on Trey Reed. And I think that we can't just let it go. Because if we don't let it go, the truth will come out. The definitive, undeniable truth will come out. Keep your eyes on that. Like I told you, my mom is wants to go out to dinner with me. So I'm going to go grab some grub with her. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And there's people in the chat saying, cry for Trey Reed. I thought I told you guys that I didn't just figure out about this on live. I figured out about this last night. I'm going to go to an end for the evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate you guys for tuning in here. And I hope that you have a good rest of your evening. Have a good one, guys. Take care.